In times like this, to be able to communicate is one of the most important life skills, giving us the power to pass information. Communication is the process of sharing meaning. It is to understand and be understood. Communication brings people together, closer to each other, connecting us in different ways that fills the gaps to allow the flow of information. Communication is essential. It is something that should not be overlooked, that builds trust, prevents or solves problems, improves productivity, and increases engagements, creating better relationships. End Times Institute, a student's hub in the new normal, positioned beyond solitude.
Hello, angels!
Hello, angels!
Welcome to Quaranthingz with the Angels!
And we are your hosts. I'm Angel Abris.
And I'm Angel Fernandez. How are you guys? We hope you're doing well sa inyong mga tahanan.
Yes, and stay at home and be healthy always. So partner, no, it's been 2 months since huli tayo nagkausap at nagkita. At sino mag-aakalang sa ganitong setup pa nga tayo, magkakausap sa ganitong pagkakataon? Well, partner, lumalabas ka ba dun sa inyo? Baka hindi ka nagsusuot ng mask pag lumalabas ka.
Siyempre, hindi ako lumalabas dito. Nasunod ako sa mga guidelines dito sa amin. So ba, partner?
Siyempre, bawal lumabas. Puro tulog tayo, partner. Puro tulog. Sino tayo, nagtanong tayo ng mga online classes, gano'n.
Well, tama yun. Especially ngayon, di ba, kapag yun, may mga lumalabas sa atin, kailangan talagang naka-face mask. Sobrang essential yun. Especially para hindi makahawa ng sa virus, di ba? Yun. Well, alam mo ba, sobrang excited ako para dito sa segment natin. Kasi, sa segment natin, may papakita natin sa ating mga angels kung paano gumawa or i-discuss yung mga bagay-bagay na pwede nilang gawin during quarantine period.
Diba? QUARANTHINGZ!
Quaranthingz!
Nakakatuwa nga, partner, kasi syempre ang mga Pinoy, hindi pwedeng maburyo yung mga yan. So, gagawa sila ng paraan para makatuklas yung mga panibagong bagay na matututunan nila. At ang mas maganda, pag pinahayag nila yung sa iba, is nakakatulong ito. Diba?
Well, partner, wag na nating patagalin to. Tawagin na natin ang ating mga angels. Sila yung magde-demonstrate sa atin kung paano gumawa ng DIY face mask, yung
wait!
At yung...
May ganun pala tayo. May ganun tayong part. May ganun. Hindi ako ready, partner. Hindi ako ready.
Hindi halata. Hindi talaga ready.
Excited na ako. Excited na ako.
Gaya nga nung sabi ko, sila yung magtuturo sa atin. And yung mga materials na gagamitin natin is accessible naman sa ating mga bahay. Okay, papakilala ko na talaga sila. Ito na. Angels, please welcome Allen and Mystery!
Allen and Mystery, thank you dahil pinunlakan nyo kami at pumayag kayong mag-instruct kung paano gumawa ng DIY mask na kailangan natin ngayon. Diba, partner?
Tama yun, partner. Well, before that, explain ko lang na yung first half ng segment natin ay mahati sa 2 parts. Una, magde-demonstrate ng DIY face mask si Allen, then followed by Mystery. So, Allen, oh my gosh, paano mo ginagawa ang iyong DIY face mask?
I'm excited.
Yes. For today, tuturuan ko kayo kung paano gumawa ng sarili-sarili nating face mask in just 7 easy steps.
Oh, 7.
Lang
7.
Ang materials lang na kailangan ay isang scarf and 2 rubber bands.
Ready ako. Sabi ko, excited ako. Ready talaga ako dyan.
Diba? Wait, adjust ko lang ang camera para mas makita niyo.
Yan, game. Para share din natin sa iba na maganda gumawa tayo ng face mask para yung mga surgical mask na nabibili natin sa pharmacies, ilahad na lang natin para sa mga medical frontliner. Di ba, Allen?
Yes! And Simulan na natin. Itupi lang natin yung magkabilang dulo ng scarf papunta sa gitna. Tulad nito.
Okay,
Like this. And step 2. Ulitin lang yung ginawa ng step 1 na tupiin yung scarf papunta sa gitna. And step 3 is kunin na yung dalawang rubber bands natin.
rubber band.
Step 4, ipasok ko lang yung rubber bands sa magkabilang dulo ng scarf.
Pasok lang pala to eh. Easy.
Ulit. Ayan.
Easy peasy.
Okay na?
Yup.
Okay.
And itupi ulit yung magkabilang dulo ng scarf papunta sa gitna.
Okay.
Like this.
Yes. Ayan.
In the middle.
Next step is stretch lang yung rubber bands. Stretch.
Ito na. Ramdam ko na.
And that's it. Pwede na natin suotin ng ating DIY face mask.
Easy. Oh, bilis. Oh.
Wow.
And mystery,
Yes.
paano mo nga gagawin yung face mask mo?
Madali lang yan, Allen. Ang kailangan nyo lang is t-shirt and scissors. So, yung sleeves, labas natin yung shirt.
Okay.
Labas natin yung sleeves. At gupitin natin.
Ah,
So, bali, ganito na itsura niya.
Ah,
Yan.
oh, sabi na, ready tayo. Ready ako.
After nyan, itiklopin natin yung gilid.
Okay.
Ganyan.
Look lang.
Tiklop,
Look
tiklop.
lang pala eh.
Lalabas natin yung gunting. Gugupitin natin ng butas ng 6 holes. 1,
Oh.
2,
2, 3.
3,
Ah.
5, 6. Sa kabila din. Gupitin natin.
Fairness, nakakagutom ka na. Partner na. Guys
Oo
na.
nga. Gutom ako.
Nagugutom din ako.
Mukhang may
Oo.
nagpaparamdam na next segment, no?
Oo nga eh.
Parang ramdam ko eh. Habang nagugupit eh.
Hey.
After nun, gagawa tayo ng strap. Labas natin yung t-shirt natin at gupitin. Ganito ang itsura niya. Parang
Ganto.
Ready talaga ako sa uniform.
After nun, is-stretch natin. Stretch.
Stretch.
Ayan, may bulatin na tayo. Kaso, para maging bulate, gugupitin natin.
Oh.
I like your
Easy eh.
Oh.
So, you have to make two straps.
2 straps.
Okay.
So, labas natin yung sleeve natin na nagupit natin.
Okay.
Papasok natin yung strap sa loob ng butas.
Pasok na naman eh.
Ipapasok ulit.
Yan. So, habang pinapasok natin yung strap sa mga butas, Mystery, anong pinagkakabalahan mo ngayong quarantine?
Ayan na nga.
Pinagkakaabalahan ko ngayon yung mga taong nagkakaroon ng virus dahil hindi natin alam ano mangyayari sa atin.
Oh, yes.
Panis.
So, gawa tayo ng face mask para iwasan ang COVID.
Ikaw naman, Allen, anong pinagkakabalahan
Ayan ako. Ayan na nga.
Gusto niyo pa ba marinig yung sagot?
Ayan na. Tinanong pa nga.
Tulog. Kaya ngayon,
Tulog. Kailangan
Kayo ba?
talaga. Siyempre,
Gutom na ako.
gutom din.
Gutom na nga talaga. Ano sasabi ko?
Nagugutom din ako eh.
Baka na.
Okay. Okay lang, huwag kayo mag-alala. Dahil matatapos na rin tayo. So,
Ax na sa
Ayan na,
akin.
nararamdaman ko
tataliin
na.
natin yung strap.
Oh.
Ito na. Ito na nga yung sa tenga. Ayan na. Nararamdaman
Hindi
ko
yan
na.
sa tenga. Wait lang. Wait lang.
Sa ilong. Sa ilong ganun.
Ang ilong daw to.
Sinong
Ilong
nilong
natin
mystery?
yan. Kasyang-kasya sa ilong natin to. And finally,
Sige ah.
susuotin
Marinig mo si
natin.
Angels ah.
Tarang! Wow!
Wow!
Panis. Tapos na. Well, sobrang thank you guys sa pag-share kung paano gawin ito sa mga angels. Thank you talaga.
Yan,
Thank
guys.
you din.
So, before kayo mag-fly away, meron ba kayong message sa ating mga angels na nanonood?
So, kung wala kayong magawa sa bahay or wala kayong ibang gagawin, pwede nyong libangin yung sarili nyo sa paggawa ng face mask, and pwede nyo rin tayo donate dun sa mga walang kakayahang bumili ng face mask, and yes.
So, mystery.
For me naman, ang masasabi ko sa mga angels yan ay mag-ingat tayo at we should always stay indoors. And since marami naman tayong t-shirt sa bahay dyan, gawa na din tayo. Mas.
Thank you talaga.
Bye!
Bye, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
So, ayan, partner.
I'm really glad na nakapag-share tayo ng ganitong mga bagay sa ating mga angels. Well, ngayon, nakakagutom nga, no?
Oo. Nakakagutom gumawa ng face mask, di ba? Well, nagpaparamdam na yung next set of angels natin na makakasama natin, di ba?
Ramdam na ramdam, partner.
Tama yun. So, wag na nating patagalin. Tawagin na natin ang ating next set of angels na sila Ferd at Denise.
So, yun na nga, angels. Fernandez and partner. Since trend ngayon sa mga Pinoy ang paggawa ng extraordinary dishes from simple recipe, natutunan na nito dahil sa quarantine. Ito na nga tong segment na to, di ba, partner?
Tama ka dyan, partner. At kasama si Denise at Fern, gagawa sila ng sarili nilang dish gamit ang main ingredient na pancit canton. Yes,
Yun, isa yan sa mga quaranthingz din natin. Kasi di ba, ngayong quarantine, meron tayong mga stocks ng pagkain at nangunguna dyan ang instant noodle, which is pancit canton. So, ready na ba kayo, guys?
Ready na. Okay, guys, the stage is yours.
So, ang dish ko ngayon pala ay cheesy pancit canton. So, ang ingredients ko ay, syempre, pancit canton na calamansi flavor, tapos itlog, then cheese yun. Yun lang kasi yung ingredients ko.
So, akin naman ay saucy pancit canton with carrots and hot bits.
Ano mga ingredients ng dish mo, Fern?
Ang ingredients, pancit canton, carrots, onion, and garlic, butter, egg, tsaka hotdog.
Yun.
Okay.
So, let's start. Umpisahan na natin yung cooking natin.
Start na.
So, ang una kong gagawin ay on natin yung pan. Malinaw ba siya? I-on natin na sa hot pot para papakuluan natin yung noodles natin. Konting tubig lang kasi para mabilis siyang kumulo. Yan. Mabilis siya nakukulo pag konting tubig. Tapos, gawin mahirap pala isang kamay, no? So, lalagay na natin yung pancit canton yan. Natin lahat to. So, yun. Hintayin lang natin siyang kumulo at hintayin lang natin ng konti.
So, sa take ko, gamit yung butter. Half spoon ng butter.
Yes, today.
Steak.
Then, ilalagay ko na yung onions tsaka yung garlic. So, yun.
Okay, bukod dun sa ginagawa nyo ngayong dishes, ano pa yung masasabi nyong special dish na nagawa nyo ngayong quarantine?
Gumawa ako ng apple pie. Pwede niyo din siyang gawin.
Pie.
Yun lang.
So, Fern.
Go for nung ginagawa mo na.
So yun, ilalagay ko na yung carrots para lumambot na siya. So. Then, maglalagay na rin ako ng 2 cups of water. Kasi 2 cups yung, 2 pancit canton yung gagamitin ko. So, 1 pancit canton is equals to 1 cup.
Next nating lalagay itong 2 cup ng So, ininaan ko yung para hindi siya masubog. Tapos, pag nakikita ang dahil, lalagyan natin natin sa tubig.
Sa akin, ilalagay ko na yung seasonings. So,
Naggawa ko ng sa gitna para dito ko ilalagay yung itlog. Yun. Next step na ako. Ayan, medyo naluluto na yung itlog. Tapos, ilalagay ko na dito yung itlog. Ay, yung itlog na yung cheese. Yan. Lagay na natin yung cheese.
So habang malapit na siya maluto, hard-boiled ako ng egg kanina. So yung pang-plating ko. At i-slice ko siya para maganda siya tignan. Ganito.
Yan, at mukhang matatapos ng dalawa nating guests sa kanilang ginagawa.
So ilalagay ko na siya. Ito siya. Oh. Ito guys, malapit na ako matapos.
Ayan na.
Wow!
Yan na.
Masustansya talaga ito sa akin kasi may carrots. Tapos may protein din kung nag-workout ka kasi may egg tsaka hotdog.
Dapat may chance kong din. Actually, sobrang dali lang niya lang talaga. Kayang-kayang gawin.
Tapos na ako mga angels. Ito na siya.
Wow!
Alusabay lang ah.
Tapos na yung akin.
Kain na po kayo.
Yay!
Ayan na siya. Yan.
Okay.
So, ayan, tapos na ang dishes ng ating dalawang angels. And, after ng show natin, mag-release tayo ng poll at pagbabasehan natin kung sino nga ba ang may pinaka extraordinary ang dish sa kanilang dalawa.
Partner, tama. Tapos na sa cook-off ang ating dalawang guests na si Denise and si Fern. At magkakaroon na ng pagpapasya mamaya. So, magpasalamat tayo kay Fern at Denise sa pag-share ng kanilang recipe. Anong gusto nyo sabihin sa mga taong nasa quarantine ngayon? Gaya natin.
Sa ating mga angels.
So, ngayon, wag tayo mag-inarte sa pagkain at kainin natin kung anong meron lang ngayon.
Yun, tama. So, I think, guys, hope to see you soon na talaga. We miss you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon! So, ayun guys, nakita natin ang dalawang dishes from our participants. And after ng segment natin ay magre-release tayo ng poll kung sino nga ba ang pinaka-bet ng dish sa kanilang dalawa. Through until midnight ay pwede pa kayong bumoto. And again, Angels, stay tuned lang kayo sa EAC Cavite Communication Society sa aming show na End Time Institute Live Stream dahil meron pa kami nakahandang ibang segments
para sa inyo.
So yun, angels. Again, this is your host. I'm Angel Abris.
And I'm Angel Fernandez.
This is QUARANTHINGZ with the angels.
Stay at home and be healthy. Bye!
In times like this, to be able to communicate is one of the most important life skills, giving us the power to pass information. Communication is a process of sharing meaning. It is to understand and be understood. Communication brings people together, closer to each other, connecting us in different ways that fills the gaps to allow the flow of information. Communication is essential. It is something that should not be overlooked, that builds trust, prevents or solves problems, improves productivity, and increases engagements, creating better relationships. End Times Institute, a student's hub in the new normal, positioned beyond solitude.
Everyone, it's your girl, Ladyli Barte. I hope you're all staying safe right now. Please just don't go outside. Stay at home. We should all work together to kick Corona's butt and flatten the curve. Speaking of, while we are staying at home right now, I know most of us have one favorite pastime at the moment, and that is binge watching. Whether it's series, movies, you name it. With that being said, guys, I am here to recommend you some great movies. I did the work of searching through countless lists of films to bring you the most relevant and entertaining must-see films during quarantine. And later, guys, we will be joined by artist educator Mr. Sigu, all the way from ANGELZ City, to also share his top 10 cinema picks. So let's get started. Here are my top cinema picks that you should watch during quarantine.
It was a groundbreaking ceremony for a new factory.
Did you mention seeing anyone who was sick? Anyone on a plane, the airport?
The first movie that I will recommend to you is Contagion. Contagion is a 2011 American thriller film directed by Steven Soderbergh. The plot concerns about the spread of virus transmitted by respiratory droplets. The worldwide medical community races to find a cure and control the panic that spread faster than the virus itself.
The truth is being kept from the world.
Cook your samples, destroy everything.
Yan, magkita tayo. Mamayang gabi.
Saan ka pupunta?
The next movie is Edong. It tells the story of a simple provincial girl who plans to murder her father for independence, accidentally making her girl best friend to assist. But their actions have nerve-shattering consequences. Love, lies, and lust collide in this riveting psychological erotic thriller, directed by Roman Perez.
Minsan, hindi na kita kilala. Ano po bang mga tinatago mo sa akin?
Astronaut is off structure. Dr. Stone is off structure. Dr. Stone can't pass. You must detach. If you don't detach, that arm's going to carry you too far. Listen to my voice. You need to focus. I'm losing visual of you. In a few seconds, I won't be able to track you.
The next movie is Gravity. Gravity is a 2013 science fiction thriller film directed by Alfonso Cuarón. It tells the story of medical engineer and astronaut who are stranded in space after the mid-orbit destruction of their space shuttle and attempt to return in Earth.
What am I doing with my life? I just want to connect. Why can't I connect with people? All right, it's because I'm dead.
The next is Warm Bodies. Warm Bodies is a 2013 romantic zombie comedy film directed by Jonathan Levine. The film focuses on the development of the relationship between Julie, a young woman, and R, a zombie, and how their eventual romance develops throughout.
I don't understand, but he's changing, and he feels, and he's learning to be human again. Oh my God, is that him? Yeah.
Sam. Gumawa si Norman ng couple account nila ni Kuya sa IG. To date, may 8,000 followers na sila. Then one day, bigla siya nagkasakit.
The next is Ang Babaeng Allergic sa Wi-Fi. It's about an internet-obsessed teen develops a rare illness that forces her to move to a remote town, where she needs to deal with a long-distance relationship with her boyfriend. This romantic comedy film is directed by June R. Lara.
Dito walang stress.
Oo, wala ring signal, tas wala ring landline. Eh, paano kami ni Leo?
Oo, di bisitahin ka na dito. Ano, porque walang signal, wala na kayo, ganon.
Ito na yun, ha? Basta kahit anong mangyari, walang iwanan, tulong-tulungan tayo sa law school, hanggang makatapos tayo ng bar. Ha?
The next is Bar Boys. Bar Boys is a 2017 comedy drama film directed by Keith Obanda. It tells the story of a group of friends Turan, Eric, Christian, and Joshua who enters the law school together. Their friendship is tested as they face the challenges of law school and prepares themselves for bar examination.
Wala eh. Wala. Pero okay lang kasi hindi ko naman talaga gusto na gano'n kasi kaya lang naman tayo nagkasama-sama sa legal management kasi pinilit lang din naman ako ng parents ko eh. Mas gusto ko mag-model. Woo! Okay lang. Gusto ko naman. Okay lang yun. Inuman tayo. Talaga. What's up? Ano? Bakit?
I want to go where culture is, like
How
New
in the world
York,
did I raise such a
or at least
snob?
Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the
Get
woods.
into those schools anyway.
Mom,
You should just go to City College. You know, with your work ethic, just go to City College and then to jail, and then back to City College, and then maybe you'd learn to pull yourself up and not expect everybody to do everything.
The next is Lady Bird. Lady Bird is a 2017 America coming-of-age comedy drama film directed by Greta Gerwig. This movie is about a nurse who worked tirelessly to keep her family afloat after her husband loses his job. It's exactly the right movie for the fraught moment, in which many people are opening their eyes to the truth of sexual harassment and how it can harm women's opportunities and views of themselves.
If you're tired, we can sit down.
I'm not tired.
You were dragging your feet.
You are so infuriating.
Please stop yelling.
I'm not yelling. Oh, it's perfect.
Pero po si mga bisita nyo. Basta po kayo, la.
Eh ano kung taga Maynila sila, pakialam ko? Bakit nila ako dadalawin? May sakit ba ako? Ano ko ba sila? Tche!
La, yes! Apo niyo po ako. Ulan! Anak po ako ni Ana.
La, bakit nandito po si Mama?
The next movie is Lola Igna. It tells the story of a 118-year-old woman who wants to die because most of her loved ones have already departed, while her remaining grandchildren wants her to join to the oldest grandmother in the world. This movie brings us a wonderful story with a heartfelt life lesson, directed by Eduardo Rey Jr.
Mabuti ka pa. Patay na. Maligayang paglalakbay.
It was the best week of my life. When I asked for his phone number, he told me he's married. Gay.
The next movie is 51st Date. 51st Date is a 2004 American romantic comedy film directed by Peter Segal. It follows the story of Henry Roth, who is afraid of commitment until he meets a beautiful girl named Lucy. Until he discovers that she has a short-term memory loss and forgets him the next day. Henry must plan a device to meet Lucy every day and make her fall in love to him again and again.
Do you have any idea who I am?
I've never even met you.
We
옆집 아줌마랑 IP 타임 암호를 거셨다 드디어.
와이파이도 다 끊기고.
여기 있네. 쏟아지는 와이파이를 줄까?
The next movie is Parasite. Parasite is a comedy thriller film that became one of the most talked about film of the year. It tells the story of greed class discrimination, threatening the newly formed symbiotic relationship between the wealthy Park family and Kim Clan. This film is directed by Bong Joon-ho.
풀타임으로 수업 어떻게 하시는지. Is it okay with you?
And those are my top cinema picks to watch during quarantine. And now I'm going to hand the video over to Mr. Sigyu to present his personal picks.
Greetings, I'm Sigyu from Angeles City. I'm an artist educator. I teach multimedia and animation, but outside the academe, I do visual arts, and I'm a freelance writer as well. Now I'm here to share to you some 10 films that you could watch during this quarantine period, and you may access them through online streaming on YouTube or some streaming platforms such as iWant, or sometimes at some exclusive screening at your local TV channels. So again, I'm not going to rate them from 1 to 10 because I do believe these films have equally inspired me and motivated me and helped me reflect during these times. Now I'm here to give you a quick rundown on these 10 good films. So here they are. So we have Frigidaire, which is directed by Rico Ilarde, which is an adaptation of Regal's Shake, Rattle, and Roll episode of one of their Shake, Rattle, and Roll installments. Top billed by Andy Agenman and J.M. de Guzman, which talks about a girl who comes home to her estranged house after many years to figure out the mystery involving the house and the separation of her parents, which also tackles a lot about mainly resilience. So we have 6 Degrees of Separation from Lilian Puntapay, directed by Antoinette Hadaune. So this is a mockumentary that has fictional commentaries from people and from movie icons such as the late Peque Galiaga and other more. Now this talks about the struggles and what really happens behind the scenes for bit players and character actors. This mainly shows struggles and perseverance. Edward, a 2019 Cinemalaya Film Fest entry directed by Top Nazareno, mirrors the current healthcare system of our country. The film depicts an actual struggle of a Filipino garnering the most basic health benefit from the country and, of course, struggling emotionally in surviving the bills, the sickness, and most of all, how one would reluctantly accept what is the inevitable. Another Cinemalaya 2019 Film Fest entry, ML, directed by Benedict Miguel, gives us a glimpse of the effects of the martial law on some of the people involved in it. Of course, this film has graphic scenes that may not be suitable for very young audiences, but this film can give us a good awakening on our political stand and to where we are and how we could situate this right now. Another interesting film here is Bar Boys by filmmaker Kip Oebanda, which tells the tale of a group of friends' struggle to enter law school and eventually surviving it. Of course, this gives us a good sense of perseverance throughout our challenges. Of course, it may not be a smooth road, but definitely there's a guarantee that it could also take us to good places. Very timely to our struggles at these trying times. So it's also a must-watch. So just a quick recap of those first 5 films. So technically, they talk about some inner struggles, resilience, of course, perseverance, and most of all, they talk about self-introspection. Now, of course, they don't really have to be related to what we are experiencing right now, but they could reflect. And of course, they could also mirror the things that we used to take for granted before, which is simply being outside and being in the presence of some people. Now, the next 5 films are quite interesting or equally interesting as well. And hopefully, we get to see much more of this film. Choices, a film by Lemuel Lorca, talks about possession, good and evil, and of course, chasing your love to different places. And also, not to mention some unrequited love or some hidden desires that needs to be resolved that may lead to other things or even to trouble. Of course, this film talks about love in different aspects and most of all, talks about taking into accountability of some actions that was done in the past. Bliss, a film top-billed by Isa Calzado, directed by Gerald Tarok, talks about breaking free from a cycle that is manipulative, damaging, and of course, consuming. This also tackles about work-life balance, fidelity, and of course, respect. This film could actually be related to us in our situation right now wherein we totally want to break free. But of course, given the situation, we would always have to wait. Patintero, ang alamat ni Meng Patalo, directed by Mick Vergara, mirrors everything through the game of Patintero. Here, our child protagonist aims to win, redeem themselves, and most of all, tries to fit in their community. Of course, through the child's point of view, we get to tackle about morality, respect, loyalty, camaraderie, and most of all, balancing life between school and play. Dormitorio, directed by Emerson Reyes, tackles about the intertwined lives of all the tenants of a certain dormitory owned by a widow. Topics on love, career, aspirations, fidelity, you name it, are actually unfolded each time we change focus from one room to another. Much happens inside one's home, and same thing that can happen to our own home, especially now that we are all required or obliged to stay at our own home. Mamu and the Mother Too, a film by Rod Singh, is not your typical LGBTQ plus film. This talks about a different aspect of becoming a responsible parent to a child, of course, love in different degrees of trust, and most of all, balancing work and life itself. Of course, as the story unfolds, many could find some situations and instances where all can relate to. Plus, of course, this talks about modern day responsibility as well. There we have it, those other 5 films that are really quite interesting and most of all motivating, and that would really make you go think of yourself or trigger some hidden thoughts that you had. Now, of course, please be responsible in accessing this film since most are for free. And of course, please just share the link, do not share the file, all right? So again, those are the films that you could really watch and that could really help you catch up on their regular screening from the past. And of course, hopefully, we get to support more of these types of films, which is original Filipino content. Now, again, thank you so much for having me here. And of course, enjoy watching. This video is purely filmed and edited using a mobile phone. Shout out to iMovie and Adobe Sparks Post. Try it. Maybe you could even make your own amazing video.
And that's our top cinema picks to watch during quarantine. I hope you enjoyed watching and please stay safe. Again, this is your girl, Ladyli Barte.
Getting ready for school. Then I get a text from my classmate saying classes were canceled for a week. Preventive measures for coronavirus. It's crazy to think. I thought it was just gonna be this problem, born from some faraway province, from some other country I wouldn't have any stake in. Something I could give my pity to, but not really any sense of alarm. But it made its way here. Made its way everywhere. Made its way to our roads, our schools, our minds. It closed down our public places and put everything to a halt. There hasn't been any Mondays or Fridays for quite some time. Only day and night. Things that happened months ago feel like they just happened a week ago. Days are faster and you could feel the night creep its way in with every second of wasted daylight. It comes and you're reminded it's time to sleep again, with nothing else to look forward to, except maybe that you're getting daylight again tomorrow. Thinking back is muddled, even more so thinking ahead. All my plans for the future have become wishful thinking at this point. Yeah, I picked a bad year to get my shit together. I hate watching the news, even if it's my job too. I didn't want to be familiar with it, the number of cases being announced like daily weather forecast. And you look in to compare the number of deaths to those who recovered, and you're just thankful that there's more recoveries. Homework, where they make us examine and give our opinions on it. It's stupid. And this daily routine of just waking up, doing chores, online classes, eating and sleeping. I try to learn something new every now and then I forget about it. Even emotions have become routine. I'm either miserable or distracted. One day I care deeply, and the next I don't care at all. It's this tug of war between accepting you're a mess and trying hard not to be. One day I woke up from a nightmare, something that triggered me about an insecurity. And I woke up in this desperate need for change. I've always had apocalyptic dreams. It's happening a lot more recently. My friend wonders how is it that they have such deep lore in them. It's weird. One time I dreamt that I was outside. I was standing in front of an open restaurant, but I wasn't allowed to stare at people. Otherwise they'd kill you. So in that dream I kept shutting my eyes really tight. I also had this other dream. I was going home to this fancy hotel together with other children. We go up on this elevator, and each floor was assigned to race. And the elevator doors were made out of glass, so you could see that every floor looked like workplaces. And this child, disheveled, he looked foreign, and he looked me in the eye before leaving. I went outside in my dreams again, this time with my grandparents. The lockdown was lifted and we went shopping, and I went looking for art supplies. I think I dreamt it because I really need paint. Yeah, I went without a mask, and all the stores were really dark because there were no lights. Something else happened, but I can't remember it. What was it again? Yeah, no, I can't remember it. You know, sometimes I feel like we're all the Lisbon sisters. You know that Sofia Coppola film? The Virgin Suicides? Those Lisbons. They're stuck in their house, shut off from the outside world. And the only contact they have with it is through those magazines that they ordered. The travelogues from Thailand and Japan. And those boys across the street. That one scene where they were listening to vinyl records with the boys through the telephone. They just did that all day. These two bedrooms across the street, connected.
So far away, doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore. It would be so fine to see your face at my door.
We're all the husbands now, touch starved, and would persist for valuable human connection, except they're more creative than us. But I guess not everybody's a lesbian. Not all of us have the luxury of having records to listen to, or a telephone, or even the comfort of a bedroom. I don't know. I don't really know what to feel or what to think. It's like a flu. I just wait for it to all be over soon.
In times like this, to be able to communicate is one of the most important life skills, giving us the power to pass information. Communication is a process of sharing meaning. It is to understand and be understood. Communication brings people together, closer to each other, connecting us in different ways that fills the gaps to allow the flow of information. Communication is essential. It is something that should be overlooked, that builds trust, prevents or solves problems, improves productivity, and increases engagements, creating better relationships. End times should, a student's hub in the new normal.
Good day everyone, or I must say magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
You are watching How Are You? A mental health discussion. We are here to talk about something that is really important and serious.
Informing you is one of our jobs today. And unfortunately, we all know physical health is not only the problem in this crisis but also our mental health.
But, syempre, bago ang lahat, another blessing has been given us today.
Yes, tama ka dyan, Janina. At isang mapagpalang hapon para sa ating lahat. Thank God, this is the day for us to choose to be happy and enjoy what we have right now.
Yes, although we are currently facing this huge fight, di ba, around the world that has been giving us all the negative vibes, yung virus.
Ngunit kahit puro negatibo yung dala ng krisis na ito o yung virus, sa kabila ng lahat, itong laban na mayroon tayo yung nagbigay sa atin ng pagkakataon na ma-share yung mga pagpapala sa ating kapwa mamamayan na nangangailangan. And it has also been marked by millions of small acts of kindness which have brought communities closer together.
Agreed. Syempre, this is also the best time for us to have unity, di ba? Anyways, kamusta naman yung quarantine life mo dyan, Joana?
Actually, it is fine. Madami akong na-discover na mga bagay na kaya ko palang gawin dito sa bahay. Especially yung magluto. Sobrang sarap pala sa pakiramdam kapag napaglulutuan mo yung magulang mo, lalo na kapag alam mong pagod sila galing sa trabaho, 'di ba? Kasi syempre pag nasa school tayo, hindi naman natin nagagawa 'yon or napapag-aralan man lang kahit magluto. And anyways, I am looking forward to na may matutunan pa inside our house. How about you, Janina?
Since 8 kami dito sa bahay, hindi siya boring kasi we are doing some family activities para makapag-bond kami syempre, 'di ba? But although mahirap siya financially because kailangan naming mag-provide ng needs ng 8 tao, but still we're still blessed na meron kaming kung ano yung kailangan talaga namin ngayon sa panahon ngayon, 'di ba?
Well, good to hear that you're all doing fine and safe, Janina. However, little did we know, may mga tao talagang nagsasuffer mentally due to isolation.
Yes,
Yes.
Sadly, social isolation can negatively affect our mental health, 'di ba? Gaya sa physical health natin. May nabasa din ako kasi sa 2015 paper ni Louis C. Hockley and John P. Capitano na ang title is Perceived Social Isolation, Evolutionary Fitness and Health Outcomes, a Lifespan Approach. Kasi napatunayan nila dun sa paper nila na ang perceived social isolation and loneliness is kaakibat niya yung depression, cognitive decline, poor sleep quality, a weaker immune system, and potential heart problems.
May nabasa nga din ako sa BBC News article Merong isang 57-year-old American woman na may depression at sinabi niyang yun yung pinakamahirap na parte para sa mga taong may mental health conditions. And also, according to her, anxiety is a natural response to the situation we are in. You can have waves of it, watching news coverage, thinking about your health and other people.
Yes, ako din may napanood ako nung May 12 sa news na ang isang OFW frontliner daw natin is namatay due to COVID-19 and based dun sa sa news, habang ini-interview yung mother ng OFW frontliner natin, is iyak siya ng iyak. Imagine the pain and anxiety na meron sila ngayon, di ba?
That's so sad, and I feel sorry for them. Aside from that, madaming frontliners, lalo na yung pamilya nila yung nag-aalala dahil sa virus, di ba? Tapos, hindi pa ganun kataas yung kakayahan natin upang malabanan ito. Siyempre, isa na din kami sa mga pamilyang nag-aalala. Kadalasan kasi hindi na nila iniisip yung sarili nila, yung mga frontliners, para lang makatulong sa ibang tao. Just like my father, he is a frontliner too. Though pinapatigil na namin siya sa trabaho niya kasi nga dahil sa sitwasyon na to, siya pa rin yung nag-i-insist para lang talaga makatulong sa ibang tao.
Kaya nga malaki yung respeto natin para sa mga frontliners natin, di ba? Well, for us to be more informed about all these process, let's proceed to the discussion. Informing you is our job today. And syempre, we have our guest speaker to explain further information and to give us knowledge.
And to give you some background about our guest speaker, she is a licensed psychologist that graduated from Mapua University in 2017 and took up her master's from the same university in 2019.
She has studied the dynamics of psychology in the community, education, and clinical fields.
She is also a trained psychological first aider since 2016, attended psychological services in several NGOs, LGUs, and institutions in the Philippines, a trained facilitator and volunteer in NGOs as well.
She is also the author and lead researcher of the Feed Hope program.
Let us all welcome Miss Hazel Malazarte.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello ma'am. Good day po.
Hi ma'am. Joana. Hi Janina.
Hi ma'am.
It's nice to meet you guys.
Bati naman. Nice to meet you po ma'am. Bati naman po kayo sa viewers natin.
Hello everyone. I'm Hazel and it's been an honor and a pleasure to be here and to share with you guys a bit of positivity and at the same time remind you guys of your mental health and well-being.
Oh, thank you po ma'am. Kanina po is napag-usapan or nag-share po kami sa viewers natin ng quarantine life po namin, Joana. How about you po, ma'am? Balita po namin nasa Oman po kayo. Kamusta po yung quarantine life sa Oman?
Actually, ngayon dito, rin kami, nasa loob din kami ng bahay because of lockdown. Sarado yung airport, sarado yung borders, and we're encouraged to be inside. So, syempre ako, I cope through baking. Nakikita niyo naman sa stories ko at times. And I often bake, I often read, at the same time, yun, study.
And if you don't mind, ma'am, anong ginagawa niyo po ngayon as a mental health professional during quarantine po?
I volunteer in terms of providing telepsychological services in terms of counseling and therapy, pero online. Since ang hirap na rin makipag-meet face-to-face with your patients or clients, pero hindi naman doon natitigil yung mental illness. So we have to adapt and adjust.
Yes.
Okay. Siyempre, wag na po nating patagalin to. Let's proceed to the discussion na po. The table is all yours, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, everyone. As a PowerPoint. I hope everyone's okay. Welcome to this mental health discussion entitled, How Are You? So basically, I just want to ask you guys sincerely, kamusta nga ba talaga tayo? Are we really okay? Or are we just distracted with a lot of things? This time, as I go over with my discussion, I hope na you are encouraged to reflect, encouraged to think about your mental health, your mental status as a person. And as I go over with my discussion then, I hope you guys will be interactive also, especially with my moderators. What do I mean by being interactive? I mean by doing the things that I'm asking you to do. Siyempre, di naman ako magpapagawa ng bagay na mahirap gaya ng pag-amin sa crush mo, na crush mo siya, mga something like that. I will be asking you easy things kasi ayoko naman makapagbigay sa inyo ng stress or anxiety or anything negative. Okay? And I trust you guys to do it also. I may not see you guys face to face except Janina and Joana, pero I hope that you're also going to do this, some of my activities, since this is all for your own good. So let's go to the next slide. So the next slide shows that it's been more than 60 days, or to be exact, 72 days since we are under community quarantine. Parang halos sabay lang din dito sa Oman at saka dyan sa Philippines. I don't know guys if you're in ACQ, MECQ, or GCQ, pero all in all, it still ends in the letter Q, which means we are still under quarantine. And it's quite unfortunate that we are under quarantine. With this in mind, it causes a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety because we lack human connection. We are in constant isolation, where in fact, we as humans, we are social beings and we crave for human connection. And with that, I am just going to share you guys, how do we cope with this human isolation? How do we cope with this mental illness? Kaya I'm just going to share you guys just 4 key points today, and it's entitled Feed Hope. It's actually one of my advocacy, and at the same time close to my heart. At the next slide, it shows Feed Hope, and the hope stands for H is helping oneself. That would be the first segment. O is opening up with one's problems. P is putting meaning to what we consume, and E is embracing change. Di ba parang sobrang light lang yung aking topic for today. And sobrang magfo-focus lang ako din sa how are you or sa helping oneself. Since as students, as daughters and sons, or as a worker, it's sobrang hirap makapag-cope, especially now that we're in the middle of a global health crisis. So let's jump with the first segment, which is helping oneself. Yeah. So guys, seriously asking, how are we? How are you guys? I hope that as I question you guys, you're thinking at the back of your mind, am I really okay? Some people may say na, ayun, Janina, how are you?
Ako ma'am, personally ma'am, okay lang po ako. And okay din naman po kami ng family ko, ng relatives ko, nakakakain pa din naman po kami. Okay lang kami ma'am, hindi kami yung totally po talaga na masasabi na naghihirap po parang ganun. Tas opo, sobrang din po namin may stay kami dito sa bahay kasi nga po frontliner yung papa ko tsaka yung lola ko. And sila na po yung nagga-guide sa amin kung ano yung mga policies, yung mga dapat pong hindi gawin.
Yeah, thank you for that, Joana. And you, Nina?
Ako po, okay lang po kasi may support naman po ako ng family. Okay naman po kaming family, nandito po kami sa isang bahay na safe, and yung mga kailangan po namin, nakakakain po kami ng 3 times sa isang araw. But bothered lang po ako kasi yung sa nakikita ko nga po sa social media na baka daw po possible na next year pa daw po matapos ng quarantine. Worried po ako kasi working student po ako, ganun.
Okay. Pero all in all, I'm glad na you're all okay. And sa mga viewers dyan, I hope that you're all okay. May times sinasabi ng iba na, I'm okay, pero at the back of our minds or deep inside, they're not okay. So let's jump to the next line. Is it okay not to be okay? I know. Dyan lang sa slide. Yan. Is it okay not to be okay? Is it okay to feel defeated, to feel weak during this time? Some people would say, especially in our culture, usually we believe, especially sa guys, they perceive themselves as putting up a brave front. Sobrang hirap na mag-express ng emotions since pag nag-express sila, they will be tagged as someone who is very weak. And that's wrong. Sometimes it's okay to admit defeat. It's okay that we are not okay, especially if we're trying to survive this in the middle of this global health crisis. Tsaka tawag dito, it's okay not to be as productive compared with a lot of people. Usually, people tend to bake, tend to cook, or tend to watch movies. Pero ikaw, you're just stuck in your room, staring at the ceiling. It's okay to take your time. It's okay to take baby steps, okay? Kasi sobrang grabing dami nangyayari to the point na na-disrupt yung ating life, na-disrupt yung ating school life, yung work life. Tapos we're all stuck in our homes, diba? Sobrang antindi ng anxiety na na-experience natin. So, I just want you guys to know that it's okay not to be okay. Pero that doesn't mean that we remain in that situation na, it's okay lang pala na hindi okay, sige, dito lang ako. We should not neglect our capacity to heal, our capacity to recuperate, our capacity to move on. So, and how do we do that? I'll be sharing with you guys about that later. So the next one is it really all in my mind? Statement, to be honest with you guys, is I hate this statement because it invalidates our experiences, it invalidates people's experiences of what they're going through. Usually sa culture natin as Filipinos, we tend to say, hala, nag-iinarte lang yan. Sus, depression lang yan. Parang usually sinasabi nila na yung mga mental illness is something that na iniisip lang nila, where in fact, it has biological basis. Usually, all of us have our brains, right? And our brain is also an organ, which is the same as our hearts, as our lungs, our kidneys, and they could have also complications. Example of that would be if we are constantly exposed to a very highly stressful material. Sorry, baka maging medical or technical na yung sasabihin ko, but I just wanted you guys to be informed about this matter and to give you guys a brief overview of what's mental illness. So example of that is constant exposure of highly stressful material. It could lead to high levels of cortisol in our brain. And what happens if we have high levels of cortisol in our brain? It's causing us to have a shrinkage of our hippocampus and an enlargement of our amygdala. I know that you may have came across with the terms hippocampus and amygdala in your biology class or in your psychology class if you have one. But these two functions, if you're not knowledgeable with this one, they are kasama dito, sila bahala sa executive functioning of our brain, which is designed to help us with our process, designed to help us with making decisions, with responding to our current situation. Kaya if our brain functioning is disrupted, we could end our tapos depleted pa yung brain capacity natin, then it could manifest physical symptoms and mental illness symptoms such as irritability, sleeplessness, feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. Kaya guys, is it really all in my mind? No, it's in our brains. Kaya let's be sensitive with what we're saying towards our friends, towards our family who are currently going through a very difficult time in terms of being diagnosed with mental illness. So, yeah. And then, how do I address this negative thought? If we have one, diba? Then it's better if we have a grasp of how does a thought process work. So the next slide will show us about the thought process. The next slide, please. And the next slide, I hope guys na pwede kayo kumuha ng paper and pen to guide you or to help you with doing this activity. Or if ayaw mo magsulat, you can just think it sa mind mo or you can just put it sa smartphones nyo or anything that works for you. Okay? I'm going to give you an example of an image, emotions, bodily sensations, and all based from my client experience, from my client pala, past client. An example of that is, what is the worst image you have right now? What do you see? How do you see yourself right now? What is your worst image of yourself? I hope you're thinking. And the client replied to me, she said na, I see myself in a dark room. She sees herself na in a dark room and she's alone. And then I proceeded asking her, what do you feel? Okay, guys, what do you feel? And then she said she feels hopeless, she feels helpless, she feels sad, she feels scared. All in all, she feels like she's quite a mess and she doesn't know what to do. And then I proceeded in asking her, what bodily sensation or physical symptoms are you currently experiencing right now? So ano yung experience niya? And that would be, sinabi niya na she's experiencing migraines, she's experiencing insomnia or sleeplessness, she's experiencing yung nagloloko tiyan niya. These symptoms are like stress reactions emitted from our body because of constant exposure to stress. And this times about sa beliefs, I did not ask her further. But you guys, you can ask yourselves na lang this time, basing from your response or the thoughts na what do you think is her belief? Ako, I reiterated to her that right now, her belief would be that she feels alone and she feels na she's in a hopeless and helpless situation and she doesn't know what to do. Mas maganda kasi yung nare-reiterate or nare-remind tayo of our current image, of our current emotions, which leads us to ano ba yung belief system natin. Once we know this belief system, it would help us cope effectively at the same time know how do we refute such claims which our minds keep telling us. You know that our minds are very powerful. It has the capacity to make or break us. It has the capacity to improve ourselves. At the same time, it could also deplete our whole bodily functions. And our minds tend to catastrophize. For example, would be kung may naramdaman lang kayong sakit or tickle sa lalamunan nyo, sabihin nyo na, hala, may COVID-19 na ako. Diba, usually mga tao tend to jump into conclusions and panic. But there's, walang mangyayari pag we keep on panicking. It's better that we have a calm mind. At the same time, we're reminded of our thought process such as image, emotions, and beliefs. And then, dun sa triggers naman, what possible triggers do you think are triggering you at the moment? Siguro sa client ko, kaya siguro naisip niya na she's in a hopeless or helpless case, baka she's scanning through social media and saw an image of people na nasa hopeless or helpless case. And with that, sobrang, alam mo, innate sa atin na, hala, gusto natin makatulong, but we're stuck in our room and sobrang hindi natin kaya muna makatulong sa tao sa labas. So we're just here looking at the news and yun sobrang bigat, 'di ba? So at times, sobrang dito sa thought process na to, may times it's a healthy thing na we could have a healthy thought process kung wari pag positive yung lagi nating nafe-feed sa atin. Pero if it's negative, then it could deplete our mental health. So the next slide would show you how do we address these negative thoughts, diba? I'm going to teach you a mindfulness activity. This is all, we usually use this as a therapy or when we are deployed sa missions. And actually, you can do this at home. Sa mga moderators ko, you can join me doing this. I'm going to briefly do this kasi since we don't have that much time, so that marami pa akong ma-covering topics. So the first one is look for a safe place. What do you mean by a safe place? Siyempre, yung safe place na sa tingin mo, safe ka, walang babagsak na yero, walang lilipad na kung ano man, or somewhere na you feel comfortable. So, feel ko naman lahat tayo na sa safe place. And now, for the butterfly hug, you can, siguro naman lahat kayo nakakaano na ng butterfly, di ba, pag nagsha-shadow. So, you can do it you can put it sa chest mo, like this, sa chest, and then just tap. Something like that. Slowly tap. Based on research, this helped a lot of people and dito nag-improve yung mood nila after doing this. You can do this for as long as you can. Diba? You can also do this sa shoulders. If you feel alone, you feel anxious, you feel scared, diba? Parang, diba, you're hugging yourself, something like that. You can also do this sa knees. Although I can't show you my knees at the moment, but you can use this sa knees then. So now that we're done with the butterfly hug, let's go with the box breathing exercise. You know, this is just a guideline on how we breathe then. Kasi pag mindful tayo sa breathing natin, it helps us also to go, naalis natin yung mind natin from a very stressful material. An example of a box breathing would be you inhale for 4 seconds and you hold that for 4 seconds and you exhale for 4 seconds and you hold that for 4 seconds. So let's try this. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Sorry kung mabilis, pero syempre we need to make use of their time wisely. So the next one, kung ayaw nyo naman ng may number, since ayaw nyo magbilang and ayaw nyo sa math, there's another breathing exercise which we make use of our hands. Usually we do this sa kids or sa elderly, but we can also use this as adults or as young people, sa mga young people, since it helps us to cope also. Outward motion would be the inhale, and then you exhale for the downward. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Diba? Kung ayaw nyo ng box breathing, may hand breathing, para you can calm yourselves. You can use this if you feel scared, if you feel a lot of tensions in your mind, in your body, or if you're angry. Diba pag galit ka sa mga kung sino man, diba gaganto-ganto ka lang, kalma-kalma. Diba mga ganon. So the next one, since we're done with our first segment, which is helping oneself, ito na yung medyo lighter na yung topic, which is the next one is opening up with one's problems. This time, I want you guys to get a pen and a paper again. Oh wait, where's the next slide? Okay, so quick grab a pen and a paper, and I want you guys to write all your problems sa paper. Pero syempre, since sa dami natin ng problema, di ba? Syempre, I can't wait for you guys to write it down. So I am going to continue with my discussion as you write down all your problems that you could think of. That is anything over or beyond the sun. Okay, that's been bothering you lately. Once you've written that, I want you guys to cross out the things that you can't control right now. An example of that would be, ang tagal naman mag-comeback ng Blackpink. Are you K-pop fans? Ang tagal naman mag-comeback ng Blackpink. So cross that out. Hindi ka YG Entertainment. You don't hold these members. So you cross that out since you don't control this company and their group. Diba? Cross out everything that's beyond your control. And with that, so diba nakapag-cross out na kayo. May matitira dyan na ilan-ilan that's within your control. I want you guys to copy that and get another separate sheet of paper and copy that, and then we're going to get back with that later. So now, let's focus with those that we have crossed out. So nakapag-cross out kayo kung wari ngayon ng mga problems nyo. Once you cross that out, I want you guys to crumple it or tear it apart, or I want you guys to throw it in the trash or anything. Or if you're religious, just like me, I usually do is I put it in a jar and put it and label it as my prayer request. Kasi it's beyond my control. How I can't antag dito. Ayoko na siyang problemahin kasi it's at the expense of my mental health. If it's beyond your control, then it's time to let it go. Diba? Sobrang hirap mag-let go, pero pag sobrang nakakasakit na, we have to let go. Okay. So, yun. We have to, sabi nga dun sa next slide, learning the art of letting go. You can't control everything. Sometimes you just need to relax and have faith that things will work out. Let go a little and just let life happen. Since sobrang life ngayon, wag na natin dagdagan pa yung mga iniisip natin. Let go of the things that's beyond control. Sabi nga nila, diba, let go and let God do His part with these problems that we have. So, ayan. And then, balikan natin separate sheet of paper a while ago, since we don't have much time for discussing this and addressing these problems that we have. I want you guys to learn to alam mo yung concept na paghihimay-himayin yung problem. For example, if we have this big problem, himay-himayin natin into tiny pieces. Kasi pag, kung wari, ito yung problema, tapos sobrang laki, sobrang hirap natin isipan ng solusyon. Kasi sobrang overwhelmed agad. And with that, pag nahimay-himay nyo na siya, then lagay nyo na lang din doon. Parang isipin nyo na lang, this is a project for yourself. Parang isipin niyo na lang, what materials do you think I would be needing to address this problem? What possible people could I partner with or tap on kung kailangan ko ng tulong? Something like that. Okay? So again, let's move on to our next segment or next key point, which is putting meaning to what we consume. Putting meaning to what we consume. I know that the majority of my viewers right now are from AB Communication, from Cavite, and I know that you have this burden, this responsibility, this duty to be updated or remain updated with the things that surrounding us. And it's okay. It's okay to be updated. It's okay to be very well informed with that. But what's not okay is if it's at the expense of your mental health. Paano pag sobrang too much negativity, too much toxicity na yung nakabalot sa atin? Is it still okay? Sabi nga nila, di ba, you are what you eat. So, control what you consume. Pag kinokonsume natin is puro negative material, then, and we don't know how to properly absorb it or digest it, di ba? Then, nangyayari sa atin, we tend to have a diminished functioning as a person. So with that, I just want you guys to control what we consume, especially in social media. You are allowed to step away for a while and have a social media or news detox, even though you are communication majors or if you are currently under that field. Since kailangan din natin maging healthy ang mental health natin. Need more of you guys sa future. Kaya yung physical health, we also mental health. Okay. Then part would be embracing change and adjusting to the new normal. Actually, guys, this is sobrang hirap i-take in na to, itong material na to. Okay, next slide, please. Yan, embracing change and adjusting to the new normal. Sobrang hirap tawag dito, i-consume itong truth or reality na to na sa current status natin. Sobrang hirap i-embrace yung change since nasanay na tayo ng human connection, nasanay tayo sa pag-communicate natin face-to-face. Right now, we have to do with all of this sa webinars instead of seminars. We have to communicate to people through social media, through video chat and all. And I know we crave human connection, we crave human physical touch such as hugs. Pero guys, based on research, I think it's going to be at least 3 to 5 years before we go back to our usual selves. And why am I saying this? Because I want to set an expectation to you guys para maging effective tayo sa pag-cope natin. Once we've grasped this new change, then we'll effectively cope well. Especially now we are currently in the middle of a pandemic or global health crisis. If we do not be creative in terms of how we communicate to people, in terms of how we connect to people, then baka mapag-iwanan tayo, mag-cause pa tayo ng other mental illness sa atin because of human isolation. I'm actually like to commend Cavite communication students because this is a wonderful platform. This is a wonderful activity. You encourage people to engage at the same time they are informed and also nakapagkamustahan pa kayo parang as if walang pandemic. Kaya ayun guys, before I end this, I just want to leave two quotations. Actually one quotation and one verse. It says, the next slide please. Faith has to do with the things that are not seen and hope with things that are not at hand. This is by Thomas Aquinas or Thomas Aquinas. Hindi ko alam paano banggitin. And for from Job 11:18, and you will feel secure because there is hope. You will look around and take your rest in security. I sincerely hope and pray that all of you guys are okay, that you have hope, that you are secured. At the end of the day, I just want to conclude. I just want to instill hope, to feed hope to all of us, to everyone that's feeling a bit weak right now, that's feeling a bit hopeless or helpless. Laban lang. kaya natin to, we can overcome this, we'll heal as one. As long as our heart's still beating, as long as we have hope, as long as we're still breathing, we need to continue, we need to move forward, we just continue. Instead of having that period, we just continue with our lives. Yeah. So thank you everyone for a few reminders. If you have any questions, kasi I think we're only receiving 3 questions, I think. Kaya if you have any questions that's a bit sensitive, you may email me sa hbsmarte.arsai@gmail.com. And if you're seeking any professional help or medical help or anything that's related to your psychological well-being, you may go to Psychological Association of the Philippines page. Ops, do not message them, but look, punta kayo sa pin post, you'll see a database for clinics or hospitals that's offering free consultation and psychological services. I think that Christ Commission Fellowship or CCF are also offering free counseling services. They would listen to you at the same time pray for you. And also, I would like to invite everyone to like my Feed Hope page, which is also close to my heart. Yeah, and its goal is to instill and feed hope to a lot of people. Yun lang. Thank you everyone for listening.
Ayan. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Hazel. Para po sa ating viewers, is there any questions or clarifications from our viewers na gusto niyang sagutin po ng ating guest speaker? Comment lang po kayo.
Yeah. Comment below. Or kayo, Janina and Joana, baka may tanong kayo.
Wait, may nagtanong na po, ma'am, si Miss Alexandra Ginal de la Cruz ng, is it okay po ba if matagal para sa isang tao ma-process ang change?
Yes, it's okay na matagal yung pag-process ng change since all of us are complicated human beings and complicated brains or complicated yung ating thought process. Some people, yung process nila of accepting change could be faster compared to some because there are a lot of factors that's taken into consideration. Example, kung baka yung environment niya hindi supportive. Tapos yung personality niya it's a bit weak. Tapos yung material na lagi niyang nako-consume it's a bit negative. So yung process of accepting change could be a little slower compared to those people who are focused, who have supportive friends, family, or those who have good personality and have resiliency during this time. It's okay to take baby steps. Siguro, malay mo, baka next week, okay ka na, di ba? It's okay to not be okay, di ba sabi ko kanina? And take time. You just need to wait for your time for healing.
May iba pa po bang tanong, viewers?
Any questions?
Pero ma'am, may tanong po ako personally.
Sure.
How do we control our anxiety or how do I control my anxiety?
Actually, it's based from your case or situation. Example, how do we control our anxiety? It's based on yung sinabi ko kanina, being mindful of our thoughts, of our image, of our emotions, of our physical well-being. Example, if yung image na sa akin ngayon, kung anxious ako ngayon, ang image ko ngayon, baka babagsak ako. Example, sa exam. Babagsak ako. So, yung image ko na nakikita ngayon is, ako yung si Hazel na nasa sa examination room, tapos na-receive ko F. Or siguro 70 kasi bagsak, diba? That's my image. And my emotion would be, right now, is scared or a bit, tawag dito yan, scared. And then my physical or bodily symptoms would be, kinakabahan ako, may stomach, nagloloko yung stomach ko and all. And how do we really address these symptoms? It's by correcting our beliefs. By saying na, hindi, ano ka ba, wag kong nega mind. Well, wala pa nga yung results, wala pa yung tawag dito, wala pa yung outcome, nagwo-worry ka na kaagad sa future. Let's try to be present. Let's remain present and let's try to stop ourselves from worrying sa future since yung anxiety, it's always often caused by worrying sa future natin. So mindfulness, you can just do that in breathing and then correcting your belief system.
Now I know.
Yeah.
May iba pa po bang tanong galing sa viewers? Isang tanong na lang po.
How about you, Janina? Don't you have any questions?
Yung sinabi mo kanina, you are bothered with
Yes po,
what?
sa social media po kasi ang dami pong nagpo-post about sa baka po magaya sa yung Spanish flu po dati na tumagal po ng 2 years, ganun po. Parang nakakatakot lang po na baka ganun din po yung mangyari. Na madami pong mamatay na kababayan natin, diba? Bothered po ako.
Actually, nakaka-bother rin talaga yun. Pero may times kasi pag we're constantly exposed sa material na would trigger us or would cause us extreme emotions of anxiety, then it's time na we try to, control what we consume. So, para ma-diminish yung anxiety natin. Although, there's nothing wrong with being updated with what we're, with what we're consuming or what we're in the media. Pero, it's okay to step away from the social media and have a detox. I know now it's quite worrisome na nakikita natin sa news na hala baka nga maulit tong gantong Spanish flu. Pero alam mo naman, tingnan mo rin yung mga positive news. There's been a vaccine trial, meron na rin yung iba nag-start ng mag-open yung cities, yung iba na-battle na nila completely and successfully. So let's try to focus on that also and hope and pray na the Philippines, we would also be having that kind of outcome din.
Okay, may pahabol pa pong questions from Ate Chloe Almario. Some influencers are campaigning are saying it is okay to be not productive during this pandemic. What are your thoughts po?
Yeah, I shared that a while ago. It's okay not to be okay, like I said a while ago. And it's okay not to be as productive compared to a lot of people. We tend to compare ourselves with a lot of people na parang, hala, buti pa siya nakakapag-enroll sa mga online courses na free. Buti pa yung iba nakakapag-bake, buti pa yung iba nakakapagluto, buti pa yung iba nakakapagbasa, buti pa yung iba nagagawa nila yung pero bakit parang feel ko wala ako sa mood. Feel ko parang ang hirap maging productive during this time. It's okay to be not productive and take your time with that. Pero it's also nice na mag-isip-isip ka din kung ano sa tingin mo, what's been bothering you lately that's causing you unproductivity? What's causing you to not be productive? It's okay to rest for a while. Maybe we should try to embrace this season and maybe God's letting us rest for quite some time. Kasi baka siguro bombarded tayo sa workload, bombarded tayo sa sa student load natin. Kaya this time is a great opportunity to rest and catch up with some sleep and be unproductive.
Yes. Ayan, I think our questions were answered. Thanks po sa guest speaker natin. Oh,
may
meron pa
pahabol
pala.
Sleeping habits during this quarantine period, especially sa mga nagpo-work. Ay, sobrang problem ko din yan. Ang hirap mag-correct ng body. Pero, another symptom of mental illness, yung sleeplessness because of anxiety. Maybe we should try to address yung anxiety na what's bothering us right now. What's keeping you from falling asleep at night? Diba? Parang it's maganda rin mag-reflect din tayo kung bakit ba tayo hindi nakakatulog ng maayos. Baka siguro nagpupuyat kayo, nanonood kayo Netflix and all. I know magandang mag-binge watch ngayon, pero Tapos maghihintay na lang kayo sa umaga. Tapos maliwanag na, di pa ako natutulog. Parang may times maganda ring paano natin iko-correcto. We could try by, tawag dito, having a sleeping routine or sleeping schedule. Example, and also be strict about this. Kung gusto mo talaga ma-correct yung sleeping habits by having a schedule. Kailangan tulog na ako by siguro 9 p.m. o 10 p.m. Do not drink any caffeine-induced drinks such before 3 p.m. After 3 p.m. Kasi sobrang ma-hype tayo tapos hindi na tayo makakatulog. Don't also eat heavy meals, diba, bago tayo matulog kasi baka maging hyper na naman din tayo. And then, wag din tayo masyadong gumamit ng ng phone pag natutulog kasi the light, diba, parang may melatonin content kasi yung sa mind natin that helps us sleep, 'di ba? Tapos pag yung light na yon na nagfa-flash sa eyes natin, parang it decreases its content. Kasi parang isipin niyo, maliwanag pa eh, so wag ka muna matulog. Kaya as much as possible, control yourselves sa paggamit ng phone while asleep. Pag hihiga na, pikit na. Yan. Yun po.
Yun na po yata yung last question natin. Thank you po, Miss Hazel.
Thank you so much. And thank you. I can't hear you, Joana.
Okay na po?
Yes.
Okay po. And we sincerely hope that it would help a lot for you guys, lalo na sa mga taong mas nahihirapan at may mga mabibigat na pinagdadaanan dahil sa krisis na to.
Siyempre, bago ang lahat, before we get things up, Miss Hazel, gusto niyo po bang mag-iwan ng personal motivational message po para po sa ating viewers?
Oh, I just want you guys to don't lose hope. We'll get through this together. We'll heal as one. So, ayan. Pray with you guys.
Thank you for the knowledge and time, Miss Hazel. We truly appreciate your effort for acknowledging us today. Have a great day and stay safe po.
Yes, thank you so much, Joana and Cavite. Thank you for having me.
Yes
Bye.
po.
We sincerely hope all the best for you, ma'am. May God bless you more po.
Thank you for accepting our
Yes,
invite
everyone.
as a guest speaker in our segment, Miss Hazel. We truly appreciate po the effort for acknowledging us today. And as an act of appreciation po sa malugod yung pagtanggap, we will be awarding you a digital certificate. Wish you more passion and eagerness to help people, especially in times like this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
po.
See you all soon, hopefully. Bye.
Bye po.
Bye-bye po. Yan, indeed a successful discussion about a serious topic, di ba? Kahit first time natin. We hope na everyone has gained a lot of knowledge from it as much as we do.
Oo nga eh. And as a quick catch up from Miss Hazel, here are the healthy points that we have gotten from the discussion. So, babasahin ko na lang siya sa inyo, guys. And yung una is hand breathing can be used to calm yourselves, which is yung ginawa natin kanina. And the next is, based on research, we have 3 to 5 years before we can go back to our normal lives. Next is, butterfly hug helps a lot of people to better to their moods. Yan. And the last one is, our mind has the capacity to break or make us. Dagdag ko na din yung control what you consume. And I think that would be all.
Don't forget to take care of your mental health, everyone. Like Miss Hazel said, di ba nga, it's okay to not be okay ngayon.
Thank you for your time, viewers. We hope that this crisis would end sooner or later for us to be back to normal. But for now, we should keep praying and help each other to survive. At huwag na huwag niyong kakalimutang sundin ang mga utos ng inyong lokalidad. Sabi nga ni Kuya Kim, ligtas ang may alam. Stay safe, everyone.
Also, keep our health mentally, physically, spiritually secured and controlled. Stay home to be safe.
Up next is Combating Disinformation with CJ and Edong. Don't miss it, guys!
Bye and stay safe. From us, ABCM 1-1, only here in End Times Institute. God bless us all.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!
From ICQ to GCQ, public transportation systems are suspended.
Public transportation are allowed but in reduced capacity.
Only essential businesses are allowed to operate.
50% to 100% reopening of select establishments subject to minimum health standards.
Only quarantine pass holders are allowed to be out.
Those aged below 21 and above 60 and high health risk individuals shall continue to stay at home. We are at a time where the world is facing two big problems. In a time like this, we need to unite and help each other to survive and overcome this pandemic.
In times like this, to be able to communicate is one of the most important life skills, giving us the power to pass information. Communication is a process of sharing meaning. It is to understand and be understood. Communication brings people together, closer to each other, connecting us in different ways that fills the gaps to allow the flow of information. Communication is essential. It is something that should not be overlooked, that builds trust, prevents or solves problems, improves productivity, and increases engagements, creating better relationships. End Times Institute, a student's hub in the new normal, positioned beyond solitude.
Good day, everyone. We're back and still alive at End Times Institute, Students Hub in the New Normal, positioned beyond solitude. I am Edong,
And I am CJ.
and we're now on the fourth segment, namely combating disinformation.
Time check, it's 3:51 and rainy day in Dasmariñas City on this afternoon.
So, partner, kumusta ka naman? It's been a while since huli tayo nagkita, no?
Oo nga partner, medyo naboboring na ako sa bahay pero laban lang sa buhay syempre.
Ay, nako, partner. Ako din eh. Idagdag mo pa nung mabagal na internet namin dito. Di na nga din ako makapag-check ng latest news sa social media accounts ko.
So speaking of balita at social media partner, nako, alam mo naman siguro na naglipa na yung mga fake news sa iba't ibang sulok ng social media platforms, ano?
Oo nga eh. Mga ba tawag nito? Teka partner, alam mo ba yung disinformation?
Nako partner, syempre naman, mabuti nang may alam tayo dyan. So ayun nga, ayon sa yander-ai.com, ang disinformation ay isang uri ng false information na sadyang nilikha upang malito ang mga makakakita nito at ilayo ang mga mambabasa mula sa tunay na impormasyon.
Ayun. Wait lang partner. Hindi ba magkapareho yung salitang disinformation at saka yung alam ng nakararami na misinformation?
So pa yan, partner. So explain ko na rin para sa mga viewers natin. Since ang disinformation ay sadyang ginawa upang lituhin ang mga makakakita nito sa tunay na impormasyon, ayon din sa yander-ai.com, ang misinformation naman ay hindi sinasadyang pagbibigay ng maling impormasyon na maaari ring ikalito ng makakakita nito mula sa tunay na impormasyon. So, gets na ba, partner?
Okay. Gets na partner at malinaw na. So, ayun guys, no? Sana malinaw na din sa inyo kung ano pinagkaiba ng disinformation at misinformation. Naglipa na pa naman ng mga fake news around social media. At ayon na rin sa datos ng Pew Research Center sa taong 2018, 68% ng mga gumagamit ng social media accounts ang nagsasabing sa social media din sila kumukuha ng batayan at source para sa mga napapanahong balita.
Naku partner, 68% ba kamo? Ang dami nun partner. Kung kaya napaka-importante talaga na malaman ng mga tao ang tungkol sa disinformation, misinformation at fake news. Mahirap na baka maling balita pa ang makita nila sa kung saang parte ng social media.
Ayun na nga partner. Pero ayun na nga, may inibitahan tayong guest speaker para sa mas malinaw at mas malalim na pagbibigay detalye ng mga bagay na nabanggit natin kanina.
So, ipakilala na natin yan, partner. Sino ba siya, partner?
Nako, partner. Eto guest speaker natin, bigatin. He recently finished his Master's degree of Arts in Media Studies this 2017 lang. At alam mo ba kung saan, partner? Aba, syempre, sa University of the Philippines, diliman lang naman, partner.
Wow, bigatin nga. Pero syempre, di tayo padadaig. Emiliano naman tayo, hindi ba?
Syempre naman, partner, tatak Emiliano tayo eh. Pero eto pa, partner, isa pa. Member din siya ng Emilian family. siya din nga pala ang program head ng kursong Bachelor of Arts in Communication ng ating institusyon, ang EAC Cavite.
Naku partner, excited na akong makilala siya. Super bigatin talaga ng credentials.
Nako partner, eto pa, wait lang. Siya din nga pala ang owner at writer ng cinefile.com. O di ba? Ang galing na guest speaker natin. Sobrang bigatin.
Yes, partner, siksik na siksik sa galing at talino.
O siya, huwag na natin patagalin to partner. Eto, tawagin na natin siya partner. Our beloved professor, Mr. Fernando Calleja Jr. MAMS o mas kilala bilang Sir B-Boy B-Boy Calleja. Okay, sir.
Hello.
Ayun po.
Salamat sa very generous introduction.
Good afternoon po, Sir Calleja. Welcome po sa End Times Institute. At kami po ay nagpapasalamat sa malugod na pagtanggap ng aming imbitasyon sa inyo, sir.
Okay. Yes, thank you also for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wow, yun po. So, yun nga po sir, no? So, before we start po, meron po tayong inihandang laro na Never Have I Ever, sir.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, this game consists of few experience questions na related po sa segment natin, which is combating disinformation. Simple lang po ang magiging response sa game, sir. If never nyo pa po nagawa ang ganitong klaseng experience, do a thumbs up hand gesture po. Otherwise po, if na-experience nyo na po, do a thumbs down hand gesture po.
Okay.
Okay, sir. So, let's start po. First, shared fake news.
Tama no, pag never pa, pababa.
Yes
pag
po. At thumbs up po. Thumbs up po kapag never po na-experience kapag Apo.
Okay, so hindi pa naman.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay po.
Next po, believe to a fake news.
Siguro gano'n. May times kasi na may times na hindi mo, lalo na nung umpisa, hindi mo rin talaga ma-determine ng maayos unless parang mas lalo mo pa siyang pag-aralan.
Ayun nga po. So next po, unfriended a friend that shares a fake news.
Nag-unfriend na sa Facebook kasi. Oo, lalo na.
Mga kaibigan.
Hindi naman sa pero di ba pag minsan kasi alam niyo naman sa social media kapag paulit-ulit na yun na lagi niyang pinopost, mabibwisit ka din eh. So, it's either minumute ko siya or binablock. So, unfriend pala.
Naman po, sir.
So, next po tayo, argued with people sharing fake news.
Oo. Na ko na siya, nagawa ko na. Yung ko, may pinsan ko pa ang inano ko. Hindi ko naman sa sa comment na nagay. Inano ko naman siya sa minessage ko naman. Sinabihan lang namin. Tapos yung isa ko ring auntie na nag-share ng news na patay na daw si Bibi Gandang Hari. So sinabihan namin. Oo. So, pag-argue na ako.
Ayun po. So next po, believed with one-sided news.
Hindi pa siguro. Usually, nag-try ako na mag-check ng multiple sources bago maniwala sa isang balita. Yung, the redundancy of it, yung parang pagpaulit-ulit mo siya nakikita with different sources, parang saka mabibuild yung, yung parang trust mo na parang that's already true. Lalo na kapag ini-echo siya ng iba-ibang sources na not necessarily within the same within the same frame, di ba? So, yan.
Okay.
So, next po, and last po, seen professional sharing false information.
Ano po? Sorry po?
Seen professional sharing false information.
Oo, meron din. I mean, hindi rin kasi parang lalo na yung mga medyo oldies na. Hindi ko alam kung bakit ganun, pero usually yung mga medyo mas nasa 50s or 60s na medyo hindi siguro social media savvy. They have that tendency to do that. Kaya siguro nga importante yung discussion natin today kasi it's lalo na ngayon panahon ng COVID, as you know, maraming mga nagsasalabasan na kung ano-ano. So importante ngayon 'yan kasi dapat maging critical tayo enough and parang we should have a little bit more siguro na konting pointers as to paano tayo matutulungan na mag-discern kung ito bang balitang ito ay totoo o hindi totoo. So hindi lang naman sa atin as students or sa atin na medyo mas bata-bata pero hopefully those also in the medyo nakatatanda na ay they also picks a little bit of things from our discussion today na makakatulong din sa kanila.
Okay po. So, that's it, sir. So, ayun po, no? Since it's just a game po, explain lang po namin, sir, na lahat naman po ng mga given experiences dito sa game ay based on common experiences din po ng ating mga social media users sa iba't ibang social media platforms po. Ayun po.
Yan. Since we are now finished with our game, proceed na po tayo sa discussion proper. To proceed po, we are now discussing about disinformation. And ayon po sa yander-ai.com, ang disinformation ay sadyang paggawa ng false information upang lituhin at paniwalain ang mga makakakita nito mula sa mga facts or truthful information.
Yes. Just to echo on that, I think before siguro tayo mag-ano sa disinformation, kailangan siguro nating himayin yung fake news, ang ibig sabihin ng fake news. Kasi ngayon, parang masyado sigurong common sa atin. Lagi na, pag nag-i-interview ng mga politicians, nag-i-interview ng kung kani-kanino, fake news po yan, hindi po yan totoo. So, ang fake news kasi, parang naging naging dangerous term siyang gamitin kasi it's already an umbrella term to discuss or to describe so many things. And ang medyo delikado kasi when you say fake news is that parang any news na pwede kasi minsan legitimate siya or totoong news siya, pero hindi lang siya sumasang-ayon or hindi lang siya pabor doon sa sinasabi ng isang claimant or ng isang yung subject ng news na yon, parang madali na lang ma-accuse yung tao na gumawa na fake news yon. So parang naging problematic yung term kasi parang kahit na legitimate news source siya or legitimate news story siya, pag hindi lang siya favorable, nagiging fake news na yung sa kanya, yung pagle-label sa kanya. So parang medyo delikado yung term kasi parang mas vulnerable siya na ma-politicize or magamit as a weapon or as a bala against the news industry. So parang I think importante yon na imbes na fake news ang gamitin natin, dapat alam natin yung konsepto ng disinformation and misinformation. Kasi technically, sila talaga yung parang tamang term to describe yung mga maling balita or yung mga balitang na tawag nito ay nakaka-mislead sa atin as consumers of information. So, balikan ko rin sinabi mo CJ doon sa disinformation. So, tama ka doon, parang yung balita talaga niya ay mali or hindi talaga totoo. Tapos yung tao na nagdi-disseminate noon, alam niyang mali yung balitang yon. So parang may active motivation siya na maglabas ng maling balita kahit na alam niyang mali yon. So parang it can serve as an unintentional lie or a deliberate response na parang sinasabi nga nung iba, parang it can be part of an agenda na. So yun ang medyo delikado when it comes to disinformation kasi kahit na mali yung balita at alam na naglabas na mali siya, nilalabas pa rin niya anyway. So yun ang medyo tricky when it comes to that.
So ayun po So sunod naman po, since we are now discussing ayun nga po, so from fake news sa disinformation po, at ayon naman po kay John Patrick Alem ng University of Southern Carolina, misinformation and disinformation become more rampant gawa po ng mga social media users natin. And in fact, misinformation lang po ang alam nila due to its popularity sa mga discussions around social media platforms. According naman po sa yander.ai.com, ang misinformation nga po ay hindi pasadya na pagsispread ng false information sa nakakarami, unlike dun po sa disinformation. So, ano pong masasabi niyo about sa difference po nung dalawang bagay na yun, sir?
Okay. So, ang misinformation kasi, yan naman yung mga mali talaga yung laman ng balita or hindi talaga siya totoo. Pero yung tao na nagsa-share or yung tao na nagsa-spread nun, hindi niya alam na false yung balita. So basically, parang it is wala siyang intention na mag-spread ng intentional lie or ng deliberate slander para sa tao na subject ng disinformation. So sa disinformation, may intent kang manira. Kay misinformation, wala kang intent manira, pero mali pa rin yung laman ng balita. So yun yung distinction ng dalawa. And si misinformation kasi medyo delikado rin siya kasi like for me, it is a sign of a person who is not literate enough, media literate enough to determine whether the news is false or not. So, ibig sabihin, pwedeng ang mga tao na nag-share nito ay mga tao na parang naniniwala sila kaagad sa kung ano ang nababasa nila sa social media, nababasa nila sa feeds nila. And parang once they do that, parang they share it na lang kaagad. So example nga niyan, yung tita kong isa, yung very, very, example na bibigandang hari is dead. So, akala niya, honest to goodness, akala niya, totoo yung balitang yon. So, ibig sabihin, hindi niya chinek, hindi niya tinignan kung may ano ba, meron bang may iba bang news sources na nagsabi, parang hindi niya chinek yung kung saan galing tong news na to, ano bang origin nito. Nakita lang niya, surface level, nakita niya yung picture, nakita niya yung headline, ay, patay na si bibigandang hari, share ko. So, share niya rin. So, parang ang nangyari was, wala siyang ideyang mali, pero naging part siya nung machinery ng pagsaspread ng maling balita. So, ayun, for me it is very tawag nito, very tricky kasi parang hindi niya alam pero tumulong rin siya sa pagsaspread ng balita, which is nakakadagdag din, 'di ba? The more that you share it, the more that the story grows. So na parang naging part of that machinery. So ayun, yun yung important distinction ng dalawa. Disinformation has that intent. Misinformation doesn't have that intent, but it is indicative of the lack of media literacy of the persons who are sharing that story.
Okay po.
Ayun.
So, ayun naman po kay Dr. Ira Hyman, PhD ng Psychology Today. Sa panahon po ngayon, mahirap na po sugpuin yung disinformation around social media platforms. Since ang sharing po ng information is people in a fast as speed up their phones. Ngayon po, ano naman po yung magiging suggestion nyo, sir, kung paano po makakaiwas sa papalaganap or pagdi-disseminate ng disinformation?
Okay. So, tama ka din doon, CJ, when it comes to yung hirap na mawala yung disinformation and misinformation sa social media. Now, I just wanna say na hindi to bago. Misinformation and disinformation, hindi lang siya ngayon nangyari. I mean, years ago, centuries ago, nangyayari na yan. I mean, anything na may politika, anything na merong political figures, and anything na may influential people, naging yan, di ba? Years ago, centuries ago, alam naman natin yung mga propaganda, di ba? Kahit si Antony and Cleopatra at si Julius Caesar, di ba? Naging subject rin sila ng disinformation and misinformation to fuel yung takeover nung 'di ba? To take over ng nung Roman Empire, 'di ba? So hindi siya bago. Pero ang difference now is that may social media tayo. And social media has that tendency to make news a lot more accessible to everybody. 'Di ba? Hindi siya kagaya before na parang we just have this big mass media corporations, sila yung nagko-control ng information, and then they spread that, 'di ba, to the masses through broadcast means, 'di ba, or through print. Pero ngayon kasi with social media, parang people can become their own authors as well. So with the increase of creators, also follows the increase also of the amount of content, and it's a lot more difficult to discern the truthfulness and the authenticity of that content dahil ang dami-dami na. So when it comes to social media, tawag ito, when it comes to social media critic in terms of knowing what is misinformation, disinformation, which is authentic news, important yan. Number one, yung sinasabi ko na fact-checking. Kasi basically, you go through a list of things that you have to verify to see whether itong news na to fits that particular mold or fits that particular set of items. It's important kasi paminsan if we don't necessarily look at it that way, parang mas madali kang ma-mislead. So importante po yung fact-checking process. Not sure kung meron kayo, kung kaya niyo po ma-display yung presentation. Meron po ako dong sa slides na parang pwedeng mapakita sa inyo na a couple of samples na issues natin when it comes to disinformation. So if you can go to slide 4, nandyan po yung samples ng mga or types ng mga misinformation and disinformation na meron tayo. So ano ba yung mga examples na yan? Satire or comedy. Ibig sabihin nun, parang alam niyo yung mga parang ano lang siya, spoof siya. So parang alam naman natin yung mga daon yon. Alam na natin yung tawag nito, yung issue sa yung sa mga ano, 'di ba, yung mga parang parody accounts. Alam naman natin yan yung kay Ethel Buba, 'di ba, parody account. So parang ang intention niya is magpatawa. Pero ang difference is that sometimes people still they still consider that as parang totoong news na. Pero sa totoo lang, it's a parody or it's comedic. So we also have misleading content, which means parang meron tayong mga fake news na parang ina-attribute natin to a particular person na siya yung nagsabi nun. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi naman siya yung nagsabi. Imposter content, ito yung mga, mamaya may mga examples tayong ipapakita niyan. Pero yung for example, maglalabas sila ng graphic na gawa daw sa GMA or nilabas daw sa prime time ng GMA or ng ABS-CBN News. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi naman sila yung gumawa ng balitang yon. Tapos fabricated content, yung talagang mali talaga yung balita, as in literal na out of nowhere siya, tapos free name mo siya as balita. And then we also have the last three, manipulated content, yan yung mga photoshop, yung mga naglagay ka ng quote pero hindi naman talaga niya quote. Meron tayo nung false content, which is yung mga false yung genuine yung content pero false context. Totoo yung quote pero misrepresent mo siya, meaning nilagay mo siya to a very different issue. And then lastly, false connection. Ibig sabihin nito, yung headline mo hindi siya nagsusupport doon sa content. So marami pong examples kayo makikita sa internet ng mga ganito. Pero I just scoured through a couple of samples para rin makita nyo yung ibig ko sabihin kung gaano ka-prolific ang misinformation at disinformation ngayong panahon ng COVID. So, before tayo mag-proceed to the next slide para magpakita ko ng examples, bakit kasi ang COVID ang naging source ng sobrang daming misinformation and disinformation? Number one, kasi wala tayong masyadong alam sa COVID, 'di ba? Parang this is something new, right? 'Di ba, Edong? Parang hindi buong mundo, 'di ba? Buong mundo unang beses may experience yung ganitong klase ng sakit in a century, 'di ba? In our lifetimes, first time natin to ma-experience. So parang there's whenever there's something that we are not familiar with, there is this mystique about it, 'di ba? Na parang we want to know about it, pero there's really not much to know or there's really not much for us to find out, 'di ba? Kasi the whole world is also just trying to figure it out. So parang here comes this mga opportunists na magpo-post na kung ano-ano ng mga misinformation sa COVID even in misinformation about the policies being done by the government. And it's not helping anyone kasi parang imbes na makontrol natin yung ating sentiments, makontrol natin yung ating information, is parang nagko-cause pa tayo ng panic. So that's why sa Bayanihan Hilas One Act, 'di ba, merong malaking stringent policy doon na you should not spread misinformation and disinformation, because if you do, you can get penalized for it. Kasi nga nasa critical na nga tayong sitwasyon, tapos dadagdagan mo pa ng na kung ano-ano na ikalilito ng mga tao, 'di ba? So example tayo, bigyan tayo ng example. So sa next slide natin, example ito very very recent, yung kay Mocha Uson na pinatawag siya ng NBI dahil sa kanyang ginawang post sa kanyang blog na if you look at it, parang it's really full of false connections, false context, manipulated content. Kasi ang ginawa niya dito, nagpakita siya ng picture, naggawa daw ng PPEs ng gobyerno at nag-distribute daw ng PPEs. Pero if you look at it, SM naman talaga ang gumawa nung pagdi-distribute. So ginamit pa niya yung picture from SM, ginamit niya sa sarili niyang news story, in-attribute niya sa government. So that is one example, and I think this is the actual article kung saan siya pinakall ni NBI because of that. Kasi nga nagkaroon ng misinformation doon sa story and ng attribution kung sino ang nagbigay ng mga PPEs, plus the picture also that was used for her post. So other examples tayo sa ABS Instagram. Pwede tayo mag-skip sa 6. Ang sinasabi ko lang naman dito is that parang pinapenalize ng government nga ngayon yung mga news, yung mga nagbe-bring ng mga misinformation and disinformation during this time of COVID to prevent any mass worry. So yung a couple of examples after that are examples ng ABS-CBN. So ang ginagawa ni ABS-CBN was, marami kasi daw mga graphics like this one in particular na if you look at it, ginawa siya na parang kamukhang-kamukha ng mga Instagram posts ng ABS-CBN. 'Di ba?
Yes,
with the 'di ba? With the attribution, with the byline na ABS-CBN News, pati yung quote. So parang trinay nilang gayahin yung ABS-CBN quote. So parang kung ikaw ay hindi ka masyadong hindi mo napapansin, nasa feed mo yan, makikita mo na ganito, naku, galing sa ABS to, tapos ang negative kay Duterte, naku, i-share ko to, i-commentan ko to. Ganon yung gagawin mo. So what they are doing, ABS in particular, they're really they really debunk that. So when they see graphics like this na parang that are being attributed to them, tapos nakita nila yan at parang yun nga nagko-cause siya ng disinformation, kasi obviously it's manipulated to discredit ABS so it's disinformation. Di na try nila i-combat, so parang they really release that as part of their pages. So, sasabi na, this is fake, this is not from us. Tapos papakita nila, obvious naman na fake siya tamo, parang yung text parang lumalagpas-lagpas, yung font na ginamit, lumalagpas-lagpas. So parang makikita mo kagad na I don't think it's professionally done ng ABS na maglabas ng graphic na medyo lagpas-lagpas ang text. So they kind of make fun of it as well na grabe naman yan. Pero 'di ba, if you look at this in particular, 'di ba, itong graphic that they're saying, it's really obviously manipulated content. And it's used to discredit ABS as an organization, used to fuel the fire of their Duterte ABS, 'di ba, na parang conflict, 'di ba, or parang their issue. So parang that parang they're peddling this graphic for that. So other examples rin coming from Rappler, nakakatawa din ito. Like example siguro, kung Jean kaya mo pumunta sa slide 11. So ayan, coronavirus sticks faster on men with shaved heads. I mean, nagigets ko yun. I think, alam nyo naman, di ba, na I think early on sa coronavirus issue, nagkaroon tayo ng, kumain kayo ng banana. Ang banana ay gamot sa COVID. Di ba? So may may mga ganun tayo na na sige, ang nangyari daw nung day na yon, nagsabi na, uy, okay daw ang banana sa COVID, edi ang mga tao nagbilihan ng banana. 'Di ba? So parang kakapitan mo yung gusto mong kapitan kasi nga hindi mo alam hindi mo alam ang COVID So parang kung may makita ka na, mukha naman siyang legitimate enough na nagsabi ng ganito, galing sa doktor or what, panghawakan ko na yon. It's better to be safe than sorry, 'di ba? Ganun yung dating natin Pero I mean, hindi lang siya nagtumigil sa banana. So meron tayo ng so parang ito kapag daw kalbo ka, parang mas madali ka daw kapitan ng virus. Tapos mo yung ginawa niya ito, GMA, tapos nilagyan pa niya ng 24 oras, nilagyan ng byline. So, anong iisipin mo? Kung ikaw ay hindi nanood ng 24 oras, maniniwala ka na ninews ba to sa ninews ba to ng GMA? So parang I'm not sure kung satire or parody lang siya, pero for me it's already imposter content kasi parang you are trying to show na parang GMA ang nag-report nito, pero in reality manipulated content mo siya. So ayan. Another good example siguro is ito, slide 13, cup of sugar. So, kung ayaw mo pa ng... so, hindi ka maniwala sa banana. Ngayon, meron tayo brown sugar daw. Coronavirus. So, obviously, misleading content din siya. Parang, di sana kung ito nga ang sabi ni Rappler dyan Kung totoo yan, at that is, proven to be like that, then sana na-news na yan ng malaking news. Diba? Sana nagkaroon na rin ng news sa US, nagkaroon na rin yan ng news sa ibang mga countries, sana nagkaroon na ng, diba, ng coverage niyan sa mass, diba, sa ating mga big mass media organizations na ito yung makaka-cure sa atin. Pero, obviously, hindi Tapos, sino ba ang source mo nito? Facebook post, diba? Facebook post. So, parang, are you really, is the source, legitimate enough for you to believe that that's really a cure for COVID? Siguro other examples na medyo funny, slide 19. Diba? Yan, yung clean semen, a cure for COVID-19. Parang, kailan ba ito lumabas? A week ago yata or so. Pero maniniwala ka ba dyan? Diba?
Doubtful na po kaagad.
Oo, di ba? Pero na-news na na-news yan, kumalat yan. Sorry, hindi naman news, pero lumabas siya sa social media feeds na ganyan. 'Di ba? For a time parang na pa yan. Uy, daw tamo, syempre pinagtawanan na rin siya ng mga tao, 'di ba? Pero I mean, it just shows you how bizarre some of the headlines are, 'di ba? How misleading some of them are. And it can also be a source of maliban sa mga funny things like that, it can be a political thing as well. Like, if you go to the next slide, parang nagkakaroon na ng political slant yung mga fake news. Like this one, parang nagtatag siya ng mga senators who are refusing to give aid for coronavirus, for the coronavirus outbreak. So parang nag-name drop pa siya ng mga senators. And you know that parang there is again a political motivation behind it, diba, to discredit some of the senators. So, meron kang blatant, obvious na fabricated content yan, manipulated content, and then that political agenda that's also at play as to why you're going to release graphics or articles like this. So, those are just a couple of examples of how difficult it is kasi ang daming naglipa ng ganyan. And as you can see, there are some sources na madaling makita kagad na, ay, alam ko kagad na fake to. Kasi coming from a Facebook post, tapos coming from, diba, from that type of graphic, tas wala rin namang echoes everywhere, parang you will say kagad na it's not true. Pero there are some, like yung mga screen caps in particular na nag-attribute kagad sa media company like ABS or GMA, medyo baka mamaniwala ka na, nga, no? Kasi, maganda naman yung pagkakagawa. Screenshot from TV, nakalagay yung logo. So parang mapapaisip mo kagad na ganoon ang dating. So, sa next graphic, I'm just gonna show you, ayan nga yung ibig ko lang sabihin na because of social media, because of the growth of social media, nagkaroon talaga tayo ng information disorder. Magulong-magulo ang sources of information, magulong-magulo din yung pagdedetermine na kung ano ba talaga yung misinformation, disinformation, pati sa tinatawag na malinformation. So, sa next slide po, ang malinformation, just to give a quick background on that, ang malinformation naman kasi, usually ang malinformation kasi is parang totoo siyang information, pero ginagamit mo siya para mag-harm ng ibang tao. So, ang example niyan, Jean, next slide po. Sa 23 pa, yan po. So, ang malinformation example niyan, naalala nyo dati yung case ni Alex Diaz na parang in-out siya sa trainer, gym trainer. So, parang yun yung parang example noon. Totoo siyang balita, pero parang there is no real relevance na i-reveal yung balitang yon, pero you did it anyway to harm the personal life of that person. So ganun yung example ng malinformation. So in this sphere, pinapakita ko lang yung overlap ng misinformation and malinformation versus disinformation. Ang disinformation, false na nga yung balita, tapos may intent ka pa to harm the person. Okay? So under disinformation, yung mga pinakita ko kanina,
okay.
False context, imposter content, manipulated, fabricated content, obviously disinformation siya. Ang misinformation usually lang sa false connection lang siya in misleading content. Habang ang malinformation naman sa leaks, harassment, and hate speeches, and all of these bashing posts, malinformation po siya. So, nakikita nyo rin kagad yung pretense niya na it's the overlap. The disinformation is the overlap of false information and the intent to harm that person. So hopefully this will help try to give the distinction of disinformation from misinformation and the motivations behind both of these two types of false information. Okay. So, ano po ba, magpo-proceed na ba tayo sa do you want me to discuss yung mga ways to, how to combat misinformation and disinformation?
Yeah, sure thing, sir. Pero as much as possible, kahit gawin na natin siya in a most precise time na lang po since we're running out of time na din po.
Sige. So, na-mention ko na rin kanina yung tungkol sa ano ba nang pwede magawa. So, napakita na natin na ang daming misinformation and disinformation out there. Nakita natin how misleading they are, na parang iisipin mong totoo siya, iisipin mo na authentic news siya. So, number one na kailangan natin gawin is what we call fact-checking. So, if you can go, Jean, sa slide 27, that's the graphic for fact-checking. So, ang importante kasi sa fact-checking, ang fact-checking kasi ginagawa natin yan kapag ma-receive na natin yung news story. Ibig sabihin yan, na-release na yung news story, tapos parang we're trying to check kung relevant ba at kung authentic ba yung news. So, number one is that when we do fact-checking, parang ang ginagawa natin dyan is that we are trying to discern whether that post is actually a political ad. Ano ba siya? Is it a campaign speech? Is it a fake news in the sense na parang it's entirely fabricated? So parang there are ways in order for us to do that. Which is number one, pwede tayong mag-check ng mga publicly available records. So yan yung pumapasok na pwede tayo mag-check ng other news sources, pwede tayo mag-check ng government records, pwede tayo mag-check ng other mentions in social media, other mentions ng ibang media outlets for us to verify. So diyan pumapasok yung sinasabi ko kanina na baka helpful din sa atin, not just to limit our consumption to just one source of news. So parang it's important kung ikaw ay social media savvy for you to also follow multiple news sources like Rappler, ABS, GMA, Star, or whatever. Kasi that will help eh. Once you see something released in ABS and then released something sa GMA, then released something in Rappler, that is already a triangulation. Ibig sabihin, madami na kagad na nag-echo ng same news. So you kind of have that tawag ito trust na parang mukhang tama naman itong news story na to, and it's been echoed so many times. So I would assume that it's already there's already some level of truth to it, 'di ba? And then next one is also to look at evidences. So especially dun sa mga claims like sa brown sugar and sa semen and sa shaved heads, yung mga ganitong mga medical claims na to, you also have to look at that. Yung ano ba mga ebidensya nilang nakuha dyan? Anong study ba yung nakuha nila? Kasi usually kapag ganyang mga claims, meron yang mga certain scientific studies na nagawa. So, are there really studies to back that up? Kasi kung wala, then probably it's just fake news talaga. It's just speculation. It's just misinformation, di ba? And then, you also have to check rin, i-evaluate mo rin siya in terms of yung truthfulness nga niya, in terms of yung pagiging malicious ba siya, meron bang, di ba, kung makita mo na yung source is from a Facebook post, sino ba yung gumagawa nito, ano ba yung background niya? Is this a dummy account? Is this a fake account, 'di ba? So parang you can look at the truthfulness also by looking at the source of that particular information. So, ang mga kailangan nating tanungin diyan is that number one, meron bang malicious intent behind sharing or tagging that post? Lalo na kapag for example sa case ni ABS na meron siyang pinakita about sa the Duterte quote. Tapos parang nakita mo na parang it's obviously very critical. Baka dapat mag-isip na tayo kung parang meron bang intent dito for sharing a news that is like that, na parang something that's a little bit unbecoming of a big organization like ABS, di ba? What does the person posting the content stand to gain by sharing? Ano yung consequences sa credibilidad ng isang news media organization or institution or ng someone na nagkatrabaho sa media kung sinishare niya yung balitang yan. Diba?
Yes.
Is it possible, diba? Also, na parang human ba talaga gumagawa niyan or bot ba siya? We all know na maraming mga bots ngayon sa social media also who try to just mechanically try to amplify a news story. So parang may mga ganun tayong kailangan ng mga questions na tanungin to verify whether the news is legitimate or not. So parang it has to be a very discerning type of method that we have to do to ensure that we do not get misled by news that are fabricated or that are misleading that we see in social media.
Okay po. So, ayun po, let's just do a short summary na lang po with regards po sa discussion natin, no? Okay,
Sure.
so this information tends to yung intentionally po na i-misinform yung mga tao, while on the other hand, kapag misinformation naman po, hindi po pasadya ng pagkakaroon ng misinformation o to misinform other people. Then, yung bago naman po sa atin is malinformation, which is a fact, pero ginagawa po siyang thing to attack sa mga personalities.
Yes.
So next po with your suggestion about ways on how to prevent to avoid spreading this kind of disinformation is misinformation contents is a way of fact checking. So under this we have fact checking, debunking, and verification. And ayun po sir, I hope I have discussed every summary as much as possible. And thank you so much sir for discussing as well about this information and misinformation and as well as with malinformation po. So, ayun po sir, we're now skipping question and answer portion since we're running out of time. So, before we end this program, nais po sana namin magbigay ng small token of appreciation, sir, with accept to our invitation, sir. So, yung small token of appreciation namin is a digital certificate, sir. And we hope na you appreciate this since during this situation, ito lang po talaga muna yung kaya
Yep,
namin
oo
ibigay sa
naman.
face.
Oo.
Alright. So here it is, sir. Yeah.
Ay, wow,
Just
thank
kidding.
you.
Alright.
Thank you
Okay
also
po.
for
So,
inviting me and arranging for this. So congratulations also.
thank you so much, sir.
Mm.
So, again, sir, nagpapasalamat po kami sa malugod niyong pagtanggap sa imbitasyon po na lumahok dito sa aming programa. So, muli, ang aming minamahal na professor, Sir B-Boy Calieja.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you po.
Bye.
Alright, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you po.
Bye po.
Ayan, partner, dito na nagtatapos ang ating segment, ang Combating Disinformation.
So, yun. Teka lang, guys. Wag mo na kayong aalis. Stay tuned lang dahil meron pa po tayong kasunod na segment.
Tama si partner, mga kaibigan. Ito ay pinamagatang New Normal ni Alex de la Cruz. Diyan lang kayo, guys. Stay tuned lang, ha?
And syempre, bago kami umalis, nais namin magpasalamat sa patuloy na pagtutok at panonood sa ating programa, ang End Times Institute.
Kaunting paalala, manatili lamang sa loob ng bahay at ugaliing magugas lagi ng kamay at maglinis lagi ng ating katawan sa bawat araw na dumaraan. Mag-iingat parati and God bless!
Muli, ako si CJ.
At ako naman si Edong at ito ang End Times Institute, Students Hub in the New Normal Positioned Beyond Solitude. Bye!
In order to battle the threats of COVID-19 in our country, the cooperation of everyone is crucial. Everyone must stay at home as it is the simplest but most effective way to stop the spreading of the virus. Pero kung kinakailangan,
Isa lamang maaaring lumabas ng tahanan para sa basic commodities. Pagpunta sa tanggapan na nagbibigay serbisyong publiko at pagbabayad ng transaksyon may kinalaman sa pera, telekomunikasyon, kuryente at tubig. Paalala na ang mga matatanda, bata, buntis, may karamdaman ay hindi pinahihintulutang lumabas ng tahanan.
at kung may pahintulot lumabas, huwag kakalimutan ng mga sumusunod. Quarantine pass, valid ID, mask, at kung meron man ay gloves. Huwag din kakalimutan ang mga rules sa social distancing.
At pagdating sa inyong bahay, iwasang magkaroon ng physical interaction sa iyong pamilya. At huwag hahawakan ang mga gamit sa inyong tahanan.
Tandaan, sa krisis na ito, hindi lang ang buhay mo ang nakasalalay. Ang buong pamilya mo ay malalagay sa alanganin. Kaya pagka-uwi, ikaw ay maligo agad.
Ugaliing magugas ng kamay at gumamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer. Iwasan rin na mapahawak sa iyong mata, ilong, at bibig.
Lastly, our best contribution to our countrymen and family is to stay healthy ourselves. Ang pagpapahalaga at pag-aalaga sa ating kalusugan ay lalong mas importante ngayon sa panahon na may pandemic. Para sa mga sintomas na dapat bantayan, tandaan lamang ang salitang ulan. U para sa ubong walang plema, LA para sa lagnat, at E para sa nahihirapang huminga. In case na may mild symptoms, don't self-medicate. Always consult sa medical professionals whether online or via hotlines. Ang Department of Health ay nag-release ng hotlines para sa mga gusto magpakonsulta.
Kaya naman, disiplina ang ating pairalin upang ang COVID-19 ay maiwasan natin.
Hi, magandang hapon mga kaibigan. This is Alex of Communication and you are watching New Normal for Students, where we get fire and mild. At this point, this is the time where we only chill back and relax, looking for some entertainment and information. This is the moment na lahat ng household chores are completely done. Ngayon, malamig ang panahon. I'm assuming na nakaupo na lang kayo, nanonood sa amin, of course, binge watching to some great movies, or making some late meriendas or dinner for your entire family or even for yourself. So, hello mga kaibigan nating nanonood ngayon. What's up sa inyo mga kaibigan? Aba, ang dami nating viewers. Ano nakakatawa? Hi guys, mag-shoutout muna tayo. Shoutout muna. Hindi po ako streamer ha. Shoutout muna tayo dyan. Okay, shoutout kay Luis D. Miraflor, kay Kiro Dabuet, Michelle Ann Cardeño, Sofia Lagrada, Ren Fuentes, Bagsik, Kurt Gabriel, kay Cedric, kay Kiro ulit, kay Chloe, kay Piolo, kay PJ, kay Denise, kay Fernando, kay Michelle, kay Ericka. Shoutout sa inyo lahat sa mga kaibigan kong nanonood, sa mga pamilya ko. Hello everyone! So, mukhang marami na. Oh, love you. I love you too. Ano mo yung I love you ah. Okay, so I think marami ng mga nanonood ngayon. Hi guys, I am inviting you to watch New Normal for Students. So it is a challenge for us as students too, or youths too, preparing for the transition to the new norm. Since there will be new principles and measures to follow while studying, whereas yung iba sa atin is nagtatrabaho, online working, work from home at the same time. Thus, this podium is a great break for us to reflect on our shows. Guys, so this is the finest time for us to converge in a single stream to witness interesting, enjoyable, and student-friendly exchange of points and views with our guest speakers. Hindi naman kasi po pwedeng ako lang naman yung salita ng salita dito, di ba? O shoutout sa'yo, Charles, di ba? Tama, hindi lang pwedeng ako lang. So first, she is a social work major from UP Diliman and member of Gabriela Youth and Rungian. Hindi magpapatalo kahit kanino. VM! Whee!
Hi
Hi,
guys!
VM!
Hello Alex!
O sabihin mo muna, Sapi.
Lord Spenge Poskin.
O, bati ka muna sa mga viewers natin.
So, ayun, hi guys. I'm BM from UPD College of Social Work and Community Development.
Tika muna sa mga viewers.
Ayun, thank you pala, Jean and Miss Alex for having me here. To our viewers, I hope you and your families are all doing fine in the midst of this pandemic. Yun lang.
Member of a member of Blue Babel Battalion and second-year Pol Sci student from Ateneo. One big fight. We have Gino.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Jean and Miss Alex, for accommodating me. I am Gino Villabayane, 2AB Political Science from the Ateneo de Manila University. Hope you're safe there.
Hi. Okay, thank you very much. And next we have a fashion model, at the same time student and broadcast journalism chief executive from the LSUD. We bleed green. Niel.
Hi, good afternoon,
Hi,
everyone.
Niel.
Hello, I'm Niel, and thank you, Alex. Thank you, Sed, for having me here. And I am really looking forward to have a fruitful discussion today. Yun lang.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And now, a communication student also from the LSUD. Let's have Paul. Hi, Paul.
Hey, yo. Hello. Hear me?
Hi. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Let's greet our viewers.
Naririnig niyo ba ako?
Yep.
Hi! Okay. Oh, yun, naririnig
Okay,
ka. Okay, so medyo maulan ngayon ng panahon. This is an exciting moment for us para magkwentuhan, light, basta
Hello.
the stream's finishing touch. So our segment is called New Normal, since we are here to showcase the new way of people to have social the new norm of hanging out.
What up, G?
Hey, Paul.
Hi guys.
Hi viewers, okay pa
Hi,
ba kayo
Jean.
dyan?
Okay pa ba?
Kaya
Okay
ba
pa yan.
today?
Kaya ba tonight?
Judo, judo. Pag nasira yung isa na yung namin nakakagawa. Ayun, wala.
Trying times talaga, no?
How are you guys doing naman?
End
Ang
times
ginagawa ni
talaga.
Jean.
Sobrang end times talaga today.
Hello, Neil.
So guys,
Hello.
quarantines. Hi Nel, hi Paul, Umay, hi V and Ventamila. So today
Hi, Miss
we
Gina
are,
Labayane.
so I'll be
Gaganda
taking
niya.
over for today's show. Hello.
Oo, lalong lumakas yung ulan.
Oh
Lumakas
my
kasi
gosh,
yung
guys.
ulan, no?
Kanina ko pa sinasabi ko, pasok ako. Okay. So, ayun. Itong ulan na to, in trying times talaga naiinis ako. So, yun na nga. Our segment is called New Normal, to showcase the new way of people hanging out. New way talaga to. Hindi stable lang
Yeah.
internet. Nakakainis. So, yung edX institute is like a platform for us as students to express ourselves. And hopefully, makita namin yung mga various taste buds ng ating viewers. So, we can say that it is to divert our souls, at the same time being aware on what is truly happening. Because what we are dealing with today is not even a joke to go have fun around. And hindi rin joke na mawalan ng internet sa gitna ng naghahayag ka ng impormasyon. Oh my gosh, Lord! So, mga samot-saring palabas na ipinakita natin. Yung from cooking show, kung napanood nyo man yun, upward to combating disinformation. Let's get into the real deal. Ano yung pinakatumatak sa inyo as students and as individuals that you would likely to share to others?
Ako,
Who
ano,
goes first?
sige, ako na lang. So, I really like the first segment, or first ba yun, wherein you taught the audience to make DIY face masks. Kasi, I think in this time of need, no, the people are hoarding a lot of stuff, especially face masks. I remember in the early months of the pandemic, di ba, people started right away to hoard different things, especially face masks, tapos isi-sell at a higher price. So I think this DIY face mask of yours really helps, especially those people who cannot afford to buy. Kasi 'di ba, believe it or not, marami talagang taong nasa tight situation during this pandemic. So I think it's very resourceful. and you can easily find the materials lying around at home.
Oh,
What
yes.
else?
Yes, I agree. Kasi, kasi 'di ba, yung DIY face mask at the same time na makatulong ka sa mga frontliners natin, pwede mo rin siyang pagkakitaan. Kasi I've seen lots of people sa marketplace, lalo na sa Facebook, na nagbebenta ng mga DIY face mask, right? So that's a nice point.
Yes.
Yeah. So moving forward, baka meron pa ba? Like,
For me naman,
Okay.
like what caught my attention is that we talk about the mental health, the discussion that we had about mental health. I think that mental health, especially these trying times, is very important, and that we should we should uphold, or we should be sensitive on what we post, on what we say to one another. And I agree to what the speaker said kanina na we consume so much and we don't know if it's good or negative for us. So in order for us to know na if it's good for us, we should sort out the parang we should think na is this good for us ba, like for the viewers na, or for anyone watching ba, na is this na what I'm doing right now is good for my mental health or good for my family's mental health. So I guess okay din yung minsan mag-lay low tayo sa mga nakikita natin para maging at ease din yung mental capabilities natin. That's all.
Yes, correct. Yes, tama rin naman kasi in times like this, 'di ba, na secluded na nga tayo sa iisang lugar, tapos wala na tayong ibang
Totoo.
makapitan. So it is good na ma-express natin yung sarili natin and ma-break yung stigma, right? Na kunwari depressed ka, sasabihin nila, depressed lang, which is not really good in times like this. Yun, tama yun.
And yeah. And I think that learning to let go din yung isa sa mga nag-caught din ng attention ko, kasi I feel like madaming burden sa atin and hindi natin alam kung minsan ba na we should dapat ba na pinoproblema natin yon, or dapat ba buhat-buhat pa rin natin yun, kasi sometimes like yung mga dinadala natin is what keeping us from moving on. So I think that learning to let go is something that we should practice then.
Yes, correct. Kasi hindi sa lahat ng bagay na nagle-let go tayo, ibig sabihin, talo na tayo eh. No, like sometimes letting go, yes. Sometimes letting go kasi yun na yung ikapapanalo mo rin. Yes, ang galing. That's nice. So, kayo, Niel, ano yung mga nakuha nyo?
Wait lang. Hello? Am I still here? Nakikita niyo ako, guys?
Yes.
Okay, sige. So, I'll continue na lang. Nag-hang yung phone ko. So, ayan, I think one thing that resonated with me is the fact-checking segment kanina before us with Sir B-Boy. Like, I think it is our social duty rin kasi, like, as media students, para to inform our parents, our friends, our relatives kung paano ba susuriin kung tama ba yung nababasa nila online. And ang daming classification, di ba? May misinformation, disinformation, malinformation. So, ayun, like, it's really interesting to me. And syempre, as a broadcast journalism student din, it's also one thing that I advocate for.
Oh, yes. Kasi malaking stepping stone na papasok tayong mga youths to educate people. Kasi malaking bagay yung role natin na tayo yung nasa generation kasi natin yung digital age, let's say na gano'n, na it is proper for us to deliver what is good and what to educate to people. Tama yun. So, sinabi mo na rin, Niel, na advocacy mo yun, right? So, what do you guys think is the biggest role of the youths today, as of today? Can I hear from Paul?
Ayun yung tingin kong best way para makapag-represent tayo ng generation natin. Kapag naging new normal yung ganong fact-checking, yung pagiging sensitive sa information, sa paglabas ng information from us, saka sa pag-cater sa kanya, kung paano siya ipaprocess. Yun, dapat maging new normal at maging maging sanay tayo sa ganong culture na dapat napaprocess yung information. Pag dumadaan sa atin, dapat napaprocess natin siya ng tama. Dapat na check natin kung yun ba yung dapat na kumalat sa mundo. Kasi ito na yung mundo natin. Dapat i-take advantage natin. And I think yun din yung isang way para maintindihan tayo ng mga generation na nauna sa atin para mawala yung okay boomer something na na culture na parang hindi natin sila dina-downgrade. Dapat intindihin natin na meron silang incapabilities, meron silang hindi sila namulat sa panahon kung saan tayo namulat, na ito na yung norm. Yun sa tingin ko, yun dapat na maging part natin.
Pero as much as possible, no, hindi dapat natin ini-invalidate ang tao at times like this. In times like this, dapat nagtutulungan talaga tayo, di ba? So, yun nga yung sa process of information na tinutukoy natin. Kasi mahirap mag-process lalo na kung hindi face-to-face di ba? Kasi kung face-to-face, mababago mo agad yung information na binibigay mo. Not unlike na na-post na siya sa social media, sa any platforms online, ang hirap baguhin kapag nagkamali ka. So, how do you think na yung mga webinars or live streaming events like this play a vital role in addressing today's situation? Gaano ka-importante yung pagpaprocess natin ng information nowadays?
Sige, ako. Yung kasi yung news kasi ngayon, 'di ba? Yun talagang source of information natin, especially in this pandemic na hindi naman tayo nakakalabas. Hindi tayo masyadong nakakapag-communicate outside. So, ayun, we're always at home. So, dapat whenever we see mga news and other information online, dapat nagiging critical tayo. And we should always check our sources and facts. And actually, itong ganitong setup, this kind of live stream, nakakatulong din siya, di ba? Para mag-educate ng mga peers natin. So, ayun.
Kasi napakaganda rin talaga. Yeah.
And I guess this kind of approach is very educational in a way, because we disseminate information. And like what she said, Nana, we don't really get to communicate outside, or we don't really get to go outside. I guess that this kind of setting plays a vital role in our society. Kasi like hindi lang natin nabibigyan pa ng ibang impormasyon yung ibang tao, but still we learn a lot from it. We learn from other people also, and we learn by talking or by video chatting with our friends. And I guess that's the beauty of it.
Like, we can always help each other exactly kung ano yung mga ginagawa natin ngayon. Like, staying in touch and reaching out to one another. Lalo na yung mga nagkakaroon ng hard time, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think na...
diba, PM? Joke lang.
So, ayun na nga yung point natin na nagkakaroon tayo ng information like that. So, what are the things you think that young people can do to join the COVID-19 response? Kung ihahalin tulad natin siya doon sa mga shows na pinakita natin, like yung sa cooking show na nagbigay tayo ng entertainment, yung combating disinformation, and lalo na mental health, what are the things young people can do aside from those things to join the COVID-19 response?
I want to start. Yeah. So before answering that, I just wanted to just spew some words on top of the first two speakers, yung sinabi nila. Kasi I wanted to make this figuratively din for our viewers. Like, let's see ourselves as plants. Like, that's how I see it. Like, parang, di ba, kapag nagtatanim tayo ng seeds natin, there's always a distance, ganon. Pero, trees can't hug each other, pero kapag tinignan natin, hinukay natin yung lupa, makikita naman natin yung roots nila ay connected. And I think that's what needs to be to be focused right now na as long as kahit magkakahiwalay tayo sa isa't isa, as long as our roots are connected to each other, we can survive this pandemic. And also, siguro one thing that the youth or technically us, one thing that we can do is yun nga, like as what I said earlier, we can do such things just like informing our lolos and lolas on how to use the gadgets, kung paano rin nila may-utilize or ma-maximize yung mga gadgets na meron tayo sa bahay. So something like that, as something as simple as that, it has again, micro efforts with macro impacts. Ganun.
Yes. Yes, tama yun yung micro things na sinasabi na malaki talaga yung impact no matter how small. So, ang bottom line talaga natin is educating the people. Tama yun. Na we must not invalidate each other. Kasi in times like this, bago to new norm nga, na wala na tayo sa normal lives natin before. So, iba na yung meron tayo ngayon. So, that's a good thing from you as student bodies, no? Na we must educate people. Kasi yun talaga ang point natin ngayon in order for us to be united. Kasi ang hirap na makipagsabay tayo, magpataasan tayo, di ba?
Tama. Especially, dagdag ko lang na may digital divide talaga and generation gap between generations. So, dapat as youth, mas maging patient tayo and understanding. Ayun. Sa kanila, sa elders natin.
Yes, tama. Tama. Understanding, be educated, also magpa-educate. Kasi ang hirap mag-educate ng tao kapag ayaw magpa-educate. So, kailangan magtulungan talaga. Yes, exactly, the clash. Kasi hindi mo naman talaga personally kilala yung tao. So, it is a must na magkaroon ng intindihan sa isa't isa. That is correct. Ang galing. So, may iba pa ba tayong idadagdag for this before tayo mag-wrap up?
Ayan, siguro, meron ako. Siguro yun. Yung kagaya ng sinasabi ko kanina, i-take advantage natin yung opportunity natin na mag-represent ng generation. Para sa akin kasi malaking bagay yun. Hindi para tapakan yung ego ng iba na parang kasi dahil na-degrade ka kasi ito, yung mga millennials na yan, ganun. Yun nga, generation gap. Pero ayun, kailangan ma-emphasize yung experience nila, dapat na-adapt natin kung paano sila kung paano nila ginamit yung kung ano yung resources lang nila na mas konti kaysa sa resources na meron tayo. Tapos meron naman tayong skills, meron tayong knowledge. Mas open-minded tayo, pwede nating sabihin ganun. Pero hindi natin pwedeng sabihin mas critical tayo. Ayun, hindi tayo yung perfectong generation para humarap sa mga problema natin ngayon. Kailangan maging open lang tayo and critical at the same time.
Ayun, for me naman.
Yes, galing.
And for me naman, I think that kasi in our school, like, we have this value kasi of Magus, wherein Magus means more. And I think that being more is not super na parang, bigay lahat, bigay lahat. It's about something na parang we take more, we live more, or something that we exert more. Hindi lang yung parang nauubos ka na kasi kakabigay ka ng kakabigay. Parang matuto ka din from other people. Yan lang.
Yes.
By the way, guys, I have a question pala. Sorry. I have a question for you guys and also for our viewers. It's like, do you guys agree to the term the new normal? Like, kasi personally, ako, I love the old one. I don't want the new one. Diba? Like, I also want to hear your thoughts din kasi regards that. Kasi like, parang saying that it's a normal thing, parang sinasabi lang din natin na we're not in a crisis.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be the new normal. Kasi this isn't normal.
Tama. For us, yeah.
Yeah, it's new, but it's not normal. And plus the fact that siguro,
but can we say enhance?
This,
I don't think it's enhanced.
I think there are better terms like just the term social distancing or the great pause, something like that.
Tama.
Like, it's new, but it's not normal. And also, paano ba? Ayun, kasi
Parang
feeling
masyadong
ko,
technical, no?
hindi rin tayo nagkaroon kasi ng time to acclimate. What we are currently experiencing right now is actually the fourth IR, the fourth industrial revolution na, ayan, new technology, kaharap natin yung isa't isa via our phone screens. And, ayun, eto na siya. And it's predicted a long time ago, pero hindi natin ina-expect na ngayon siya mangyayari. I think it's gonna be, it's not going to be a trend. It's going to be normal, pero I don't want this normal for me.
Yeah.
How about
Maybe
you
a fad.
guys? A fad?
Yeah. Pero ang wini-wish lang siguro natin right now is makabalik tayo sa dati na nakakalabas tayo with our friends, with our family na nag-gather tayo. Yes. Siguro hindi lang talaga tayo sanay sa nangyayari ngayon. Pero mahirap din kasing sabihin na let's give it a try. Kasi alam niyo yon, may iba kasi siyang pinoportray yung nangyayari ngayon kung bakit ganito ang nangyayari sa atin. So, technically, it is a technical phrase, new normal, na hindi pa natin alam kung ano ang sagot. Kasi parang ano siya, inopen lang sa atin.
Tingin ko may
So, ayun nga.
tingin ko may no-overlook tayo sa paggamit ng salitang new normal. Kasi I believe na there is a new normal happening every 6 years or every 3 years. Agree with me? There is a new normal kapag may pinapaupo tayo. There is a new normal kapag may tumatayo. Yeah, that's my point. And I think ayun, there is a new normal kapag may bagong na-elect. And yung mga na-elect natin ay yung mga tao na tutugon sa mga crisis na kinakaharap natin. And kung magkakaroon ng new normal na hindi pabor sa atin dahil sa incompetence na ma-encounter natin, I think unfair para sa atin na i-embrace na new normal na to. Kasi pwedeng pabilisin natin yung process na bumalik dun sa dating normal na mas makakagalaw tayo, na mas marami tayong magagawa. Tingin ko, yun yung dapat na mangyari. Dapat mas maging competent tayo at huwag nating i-embrace na ito na yun. Ayun.
So we can say that this is a lesson for us, no? A lesson for us na kung ano yung mga naging lapses natin before and lapses natin today, pwede natin siyang pagsamahin in order for us to have a solution. Pero not saying na may solution ako sa problemang nangyayari ngayon. Maybe it is like a challenge for us. Hindi naman kasi natin pwedeng sabihin na hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na eto na. So eto na ang gagawin natin. So we need to stretch everything para maibigay sa lahat ng tao, makater natin ng bawat isa. Correct?
Correct. Like, this is merely for survival and adaptation, pero hindi siya dapat i-normalize.
Oo.
So, okay, so ang galing lang kasi alam niyo yung from different universities tayo, pero iisa yung hangarin natin is to adapt what happened before and what is currently happening today. So yun ang point natin is to educate people, do not invalidate things, lalo na yung mga phrases na sinasabi na iba ang henerasyon noon sa henerasyon ngayon. We can say na why not mix each other in order to form another one. So ayun. So before we wrap up, guys, ang galing lang kasi na nagtipon tayo ngayon, and this is the great and best time for us to end today's part, and it is a great opportunity for each other to gather in one place, sharing our thoughts and opinions. Now, as last question, as student bodies, what would you like to share to our fellow students and viewers in this pandemic? Since it's been months that we are under quarantine period, and we are in our area that transitioned to GCQ. So maybe we can give them an uplifting note.
Who goes first?
We'll go.
Who goes first?
Sige, okay ako. Ulit. So, ayun. Again, thank you guys for this opportunity. Sobrang nag-enjoy ako kahit maikli lang yung discussion. So, the only reminder that I want to leave you guys with is to always check on your friends and relatives. Kasi hindi tayo pare-parehas ng situation. And I hope we would be more compassionate and empathic with our peers. What else? Always be updated on the news, but always be critical. You know, check your facts, check your sources. What else? So, ayun, please stay at home lang kung wala ka namang necessary thing to do outside. Kasi in this way, we can also honor our frontliners who are like legit sacrificing their lives in combating the virus. And always eat healthy, and take this opportunity pala to discover new hobbies. Like, bored kayo, do anything you want. Discover new hobbies. And, ayun, don't wait until you already have the virus, tapos saka mo lang aalagaan yung sarili mo. Yun lang, that's all.
Ako naman, for me, I guess that as a student, we should be more empathic. Yun nga, like what she said na always check our facts, always look out for your friends or your families, ask them how they are doing. Kasi this trying times talaga, it's hard for us. Lalo na we cope up differently and we all have different situations and we all have different contexts. So I guess that being there for your friends, being there with your friends on social media is a big help na din for them. Kasi we don't know what's gonna happen after this. We don't know if after ba neto, makakabalik na tayo sa sarili-sarili nating buhay. I guess try to be more engaging or more cooperative to sa mga friends mo na yun nga, medyo nahihirapan. And if you can try to help our frontliners then by staying at home, siguro that's a big help then in our government or at best in our country then. So yun lang. Thanks for having me also. I really had fun and I learned so much from each and every one of you.
Ayun. For me naman, actually, I'm really excited for this kind of like going live. Kasi technically speaking, as of the moment, I am living alone. So, ayun, gusto ko talagang dumaldal.
Oh no.
And
I'm living fine there.
Yeah, I'm living alone, but at least I'm not feeling lonely at all. Ganon. So,
Yes.
ayun, I think 3 general rules na lang for my fellow students din. This came from my mom. Sinabi sa akin ng nanay ko na kasi nga ako lang mag-isa dito sa bahay. This is a perfect opportunity to me to practice the 3 R's. Not reuse, reduce, and recycle, but rebrand, rediscover, and reevaluate yourself. First is rebrand yourself. Tignan mo kung ikaw pa ba yan. Kasi like yun yung mga bagay na palagi nating naisasantabi. And rediscover yourself. Balikan mo yung mga dati mong hobbies, gano'n, gaya nga sinabi ni Dian kanina. And then reevaluate. Specifically sa reevaluation ng values natin. Like, I think one way to do this better is to watch your favorite childhood movies like Harry Potter, Narnia, at these trying times. Like, di ba, alam mo yung mga values ng bata tayo. Those small things na ina-admire natin nung bata tayo. Like, if you rewatch it now, marirealize mo na, okay, eto pala yung values ko nung bata ako. And I think one way to exercise din is yung, share ko na lang din. I have here my journal. So, okay, so there's 2 pages. Illustrate mo yung current me mo and yung future me mo, like after netong pandemic. Ginagawa ko to every time na I feel like I don't feel myself, ganon. Parang ililista ko lang din sa current me ko kung ano yung nakikita ko sa sarili ko at the moment. And then dun sa future me ko, which is yung after ng pandemic, is how am I going to combat that, ganon. So, ayun. I really had fun na makidaldal sa inyo ngayon, guys. Ayun lang.
Thank you so much talaga, guys. Okay, so Paul, hello.
Ayun. Ayun, thank you din sa Actually, maraming nagtatanong sa akin kung karapat dapat ba akong mapunta dito. Bakit daw ako nandito? Kaya nagpapasalamat ako sa nagpapasalamat ako sa invitation first of all. And ayun, siguro ang masasabi ko lang, gusto ko lang kasi actually wala akong sa school wala akong active na org. Iniwan ko lahat ng mga publication na nasamahan ko. 'Yun, yung Heraldo Filipino. So hindi na ako active. Baka baka ma-question. Pero ayun, gusto ko na lang siguro mag-represent kung hindi man sa academe, gusto ko mag-represent sa lahat ng artists. Siguro kasi gusto kong i-cite na hindi lahat ng industry namamatay. So, buhay yung arts industry, buhay yung music industry. So, yun, gusto kong mag-shoutout sa kanilang lahat kasi sa kabila ng pandemic, tuloy-tuloy yung movement, tuloy-tuloy yung promotion ng arts, tuloy-tuloy yung OPM, yung mga ganong industry. Ayun, gusto ko lang... Ayan, and yung, iba. Kung ano-ano pa, yung theater, kagaya ng huling El Bimbo, di ba?
True, di ba?
Yun yung kailangan yun, siguro, yung new normal, kailangan nating i-take advantage. Kung ano pa yung magagawa natin, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-settle na ito lang magagawa ko, wala akong magagawa. So, pwede pa rin nating i-monetize yung mga creation natin. So, ayun, maraming salamat.
Wow, thank you
Ayan, I
so
just wanna
much
greet
talaga
my
guys,
friends.
kahit iba-iba. Sige, okay lang. Greet your friends.
I just wanna greet my friends. Hi Reza, hi Ella, hi Thea, hi Steffi, hi MM, hi Jean. Jean, thanks Jean talaga. And John.
Ayan, salamat. Ayan, hi Bricks. Mm-hmm.
Hi Bricks din.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much guys. DM, Gino, Niel, and Paul for letting us your time. So, before anything else, dala nyo ba yung mga phone nyo with you? Yung phone nyo? Nasaan
Yes.
sila? Okay, so may isasend ako sa inyo kasi hindi naman tayo pwede magkita-kita para mag-Starbucks or whatever. May isasend lang ako sa inyo, okay? 3, 2, 1. Send na!
Ayan.
Ay, bongga.
Na-receive nyo?
Yes.
I received 500.
Purple.
I received Gcash 250 load.
Purple. Smart
So,
ako, pero go.
na-receive nyo yung digital certificate?
Charot, yes. Thank you.
Ito ba?
Guys.
Ayan. Okay, so thank you so much guys. Maraming salamat talaga kasi
Thank you,
binigyan nyo
guys.
ng
Thank you,
time.
Alex.
Thank you. So, guys.
Bye, G. Bye, VM. Bye, Alex.
Bye-bye.
Bye, all.
Meeting you guys.
I love you all. Stay safe.
Stay safe, stay indoors, and secure yourselves at all times. Bye-bye. So, and those are the fires of this section, new normal for students. Halatang napasarap ang mga kwentuhan natin. So, let's continue to support one another and together, we'll get through this. Do not forget to follow us in our Facebook page, Communication Society EAC-C, and my personal account at Jenna Letterings. This is Alex of Communication, reminding everyone to stay in touch and reach to one another, especially with those who are having a rough time. Stay healthy, eat well, have enough sleep, take care of yourselves. To serve as our never-ending gratitude, here is a song entitled Laban Tayo that is originally composed by Michelle Cardenio with Ericka Gravador, Sweet Abris, and Fern Aroncillo from BA Communication 1-1. This is End Times Institute, a student's hub in the new normal, positioned beyond solitude. God bless the Philippines. Bye!
Nothing seems to be safe and sound. All is pulling us to downward bound. Reality has been vastly confusing. We can see that the things are changing, and all we can do now is believing. we take this to an end? We are Filipinos, laban tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to. Sulong abante, bangon tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to. La 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 la, laban tayo. La 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 la, laban tayo. We are born to fighter, laban tayo. Oh, Filipino.
After almost a great deal of time, gloomy days and hope are coming by.
If time is fast, can we just run away? No, there is hope, we will hold it anyway. So keep your faith and just keep on believing. Even if we cannot comprehend, how can we take this to an end? We are Filipinos, laban tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to.
Sulong abante, bangon tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to.
La 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 la, laban tayo. La 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 la, laban tayo. We are born to fighter, laban tayo. Oh, Filipino. Sorrow and tears are hidden away. Have hope in our heartbeat. We'll rise and we'll sing. Have kindness and discipline. The world will be better again, again, again. Have hope.
We are Filipinos, laban tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to.
Sulong abante, bangon tayo. We can make it, kaya natin to. La 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 la, laban tayo. La 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 la, laban tayo.
We are born fire, laban tayo.
Oh, Filipino.